and some fan said something which George was about to say, "Oh my," to, but I beat him to the punch.
Oh, that's
and I went, "Oh my," and then George looks at me and he's like, "Now." And that's my saying.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jon.
I'm Brittney.
And this is
Random Rewind.
We have another special show for you guys today. Today we have.
Why are you laughing already? Because of me? What?
Oh no!
No, we're not take two. This is one take.
I just loved
one
it.
take Monday.
How you were going back and forth. Random rewind. I was like, wow, they got a thing already.
I love
I was
that.
impressed. I was impressed.
Oh my gosh,
I was smiling because I was happy.
We're
I
at,
love
laughing.
that.
what are we? Episode 30. This is 39.
Wow.
Episode 39. Well,
For you guys.
season 2, episode 10.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's.
Now you can introduce me.
Okay.
If you'd like.
I'm just happy. I'm just happy because no one's ever noticed that I do that. So I'm really happy.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
that I threw that little voice throw thing.
Yeah.
Thank you. You've made my day.
Oh,
I'm good.
yes.
We're done. We're done, right?
We're
Yeah,
done.
we're done.
Well, he doesn't need an introduction.
I
We're
don't
wrapped.
need
Yeah.
to.
No one cares. Let's go. I'm just kidding.
I
We
just
all
met
care.
John many years ago. I'm a friend of his, and now we're done. We're done with the podcast.
This is Garrett Wang.
I played Ensign Harry Kim on Star Trek Voyager.
That sounds like we're on Star Trek right now. It's crazy.
Shield
Yes.
down to 30%, Captain.
So back in them days,
Yes.
how did you get yourself into that role? Now I know this story,
Wait,
but
wait,
I
wait.
want.
Or should we say how you
I think
even
we
met
should
him in
talk
the
about how
first
we
place?
met.
Oh,
first.
do you want to know how we met?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
well,
we know
that
we already know he's famous and on. But
Yes.
I want to know
Let
how
me-
you guys met.
Yes.
Oh, this
we
is-
were at a convention
We were.
together. It was a Comic-Con or whatever it was, but it was not a very well-attended one. There wasn't a lot of people.
No.
And
He's dead.
What was really cool about that Comic-Con was not only did we get to meet a bunch of other random people because
Yes.
everybody was bored out of their freaking
there's
gourd.
nothing to do.
That's so crazy.
The only people you can talk with was the other vendors
Yes.
or the
that
actors that
were
were
there to sign
there.
autographs.
How
That
did
was
they,
it.
But how did they even pay the actors if nobody showed up? It's crazy.
They didn't.
But it's
It was-
weird.
it was- a lot of those
No.
Comic-Cons back then, it was sort of you sign and you keep what you sign is the
Okay.
deal.
Yeah,
Right?
because-
So if I
Okay.
sign X amount of autographs, whatever I get from those autographs, I just take home with
That's
me.
his
right?
income.
But when that particular convention in the 4 days or 3 days, whatever that we were there.
What year do you guys remember?
09?
Maybe
08?
08 or 09.
Yeah.
I think I signed 2 autographs the entire time.
You know how much we
It
paid
was-
for that freaking booth?
Yeah, they had to pay for because he was a
Because I'm
vendor's-
not
He was
talent.
an actor. He was
That's
not
where
talent.
that's
But
where
you
that
were
sign
you were
first
just
posted.
and you were just selling your merch, right? You were a merchant.
T-Blitz. We were merchant. We were selling T-Blitz.
T-Blitz. It was T-Blitz
T-Blitz.
stuff.
Yeah, that was all
And
of our stuff, and our booth was $2,500 for that day.
For
Yeah.
just one day or
you know
all
how
4
many
days.
shirts I sold that freaking weekend?
Well, I know at least one.
I sold 12 to only other vendors and to actors.
So
bought
I bought a hoodie, right? It was a
Yes.
T-Blitz hoodie
Yeah.
that was a really light
Yeah.
hoodie.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy it because I felt bad for Jonathan. I bought it because it was a cool hoodie. And I felt a little bit bad for Jonathan.
I was gonna say you don't have to lie. It's
I
okay.
mean, the amount of money I spent that weekend
Oh,
on
it was-
other vendors,
Yeah.
because of the same reason, because I kind of felt
felt
bad.
bad.
And it was kind
No
of
one-
cool because I was able to chat with these people for long enough.
Which
Honestly-
normally at a full convention you would not have that time.
That's
to
what
chat
I'm
with
saying.
people.
Like I'm
No.
almost jealous of this
yeah.
interaction because how often does that happen, especially at Comic-Con? Because that
Yes.
never happens anymore. So you
No.
guys kind of got to live this rare event.
I
Right.
got to meet Jonathan. I got to meet his wife, Chauncey. I got to meet his kid at the time. It was crazy.
I think he met Ethan
Ethan was-
before he met me.
Ethan
That's-
Alvarado.
that's right. Ethan.
Ethan went up to your
He did. He came up to the table.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
met
yeah.
Ethan first.
Okay.
Basically, that's
So I
right.
have, I have a photo of him and Ethan. Him and his long ass hair.
I
He
had
had long ass hair.
back then.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Good time.
It was. But anyway, so that's how I met Jonathan, and I kept. We've been friends since that time. Right.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I actually went to a Chauncey's graduation party from nursing school at the
Oh,
other,
yeah.
other house in what part of
It was in Alta Loma.
in Alta Loma. I went
Yeah.
there for that. And again,
But,
young little Ethan
Yeah.
and everything. And
Did you
it's-
come to one of the birthday parties too, I believe?
I think another birthday
yeah.
party I came to, but
Yeah.
then they ended up moving out of state, and then they moved back in, and so in that time, Ethan got big.
Yeah.
He was I said earlier he was a tater tot then, and now he's a baked potato with all the dressing on
Yeah,
top.
exactly.
Of
He's
that.
guys.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of time has passed.
And then Brittany came up with when you're later in life, you're a twice baked potato.
Yes, that happens.
Twice
You go
baked.
tater tot,
Yeah,
baked
tater tot.
potato.
to
Then
twice
twice
baked
baked
potato.
We're in twice baked territory.
Yeah. Yeah, or twice.
You're
baked.
getting there.
We're getting up there.
And then when you're an old grumpy man, you're
Mashed.
like a mashed poisonous
Mashed.
potato.
Yes.
You're a mash
You're a
at that
mashed
point. You go
potato.
mashed.
Yeah.
Nobody
Mashed.
ate you. It's you're been
Yeah.
you're
Because
mashed
at that
down.
point, you know, that's all you can eat at that point when
That's
you're really
true.
old. Is
This is
mashed
true.
potatoes.
I'm
This
just
is
gonna
true.
call starting
Just
people
gum your potatoes.
by potato
By potato.
name. Yeah, be
By
like,
potato.
there's that tater tot.
Yeah.
There's
There's
that
that
baked
thing.
Right.
potato.
Well, actually, a
I
teenager
do.
would be a French fry, right?
French-
So a tater tot to French
French
fry
fry.
to baked potato to double baked
Yeah.
to mashed
Mashed.
potato.
Or like Liam's slur that he uses to
does
call
he
people
say?
that he doesn't like. People calls them chicken nuggets.
He calls them a nugget.
But I feel like that's
Chicken
such a
nuggets.
positive thing.
It's almost positive.
It
yeah.
is.
If somebody called me a chicken nugget, I'd be
Because
like, thanks.
he doesn't like to curse, like at all. Where Ethan
chicken
like
nugget.
loves to curse. He's like
Yeah.
a drunken sailor like me. But Liam's like a total opposite, so he says chicken nugget.
You little chicken nugget.
Uh-huh.
Kind of cute.
It is
Yeah,
cute.
it's
I
love it. When I
do.
hear it in the background yelling at somebody calling them "you chicken nugget," I die laughing.
There's nothing worse. Or my favorite thing is an insult that's not an insult. Like
Yeah,
if I was
like pine cone.
yeah, whatever, clown shoes.
Yeah.
And you're like, what did you just call me?
Or like calling somebody a potato.
Because Liam has started with chicken nugget.
Yes.
I'm going to take 1 month of my life just to call people McDonald's names. So I'm going to
Oh,
listen
you-
up, you quarter pounder.
Wait,
Listen,
wait,
Big
wait,
Mac.
wait,
And
wait.
so chicken
Okay,
nugget.
well,
Yeah.
let's do a top 3, and we'll go from our McDonald's. What are we gonna call the people we like? Are they gonna go like Big Mac? Are we going
Oh.
McFlurry? Are we going
Oh.
Like
like?
a baked
Okay,
apple pie.
so no, let's go
I don't like
McFlurry.
pie.
Let's say a McFlurry is someone we like.
What the
Okay.
freak is wrong?
McFlurry. We have to agree on one thing. So
We do.
yeah.
I can agree with McFlurry.
Okay, McFlurry is a good thing.
If the ice cream dispenser is working,
working.
that's the
So
thing.
that's the thing is,
Exactly.
I do love their chicken nuggets.
yeah. Oh, so you were saying like a top tier would be chicken nugget?
I think so.
So
I
that's-
know
that's
you
not
guys
a-
were crazy. Fries. McDonald's
Oh,
fries is number one.
fries,
Oh,
yeah.
disagree. Not a fry fan.
I know. I
That's
am a
why you
fry
use
fan.
potatoes
I
as
am a
insult.
fry fan. I am
He's
a fry
good.
fan. But we're trying to say what are the nice terms for McDonald's and what are the not the good terms.
Yeah, like
So
if we're
going
naming
with chicken
people-
nugget, yes. What's the other not good term?
Oh, not good.
yes.
Oh, we could just
I
we
got
could.
this one.
How about
What's
Okay,
that?
go.
Let's
I
go.
got
Let's go,
this
Des.
Fillet of fish.
Yes.
Oh, but there's also the one sandwich that comes in every once in a very blue moon
McRib.
that I don't like.
Okay.
Have you tried
there
it?
you
Yes,
go.
I've
So
had a
let's-
McRib before.
I've never had a
So
McRib.
let's
Numerous
say
times.
the person you don't like is a McRib.
Get out of here, you McRib.
McRib.
I only
Hey,
want you
McRib.
around for a limited time because you suck.
That's it right there, dude. You freaking nailed it. A
Yes.
freaking McRib. McRib is the new slur.
Okay, now
very
that we
funny.
figured out
What do you think,
McDonald's
Des?
slurs, yeah, how do you think about that? You agree?
I like McRib, and I think like those can just be used for just nasty people.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, like
Instead
you're-
of instead of a Karen,
Yes.
it's a McRib.
It's a
Like
McRib.
Or,
Such a McRib.
a mushy
They were
meat sandwich.
Yeah.
They were such a fillet of fish today.
Right? I think I'm gonna have to adopt this into
But
my
then, but
new-
okay, then if we're
my
going
near future.
burger though, a top tier, a positive thing, are we going like quarter pounder?
No,
Are we going
I'm,
like?
I'm thinking for something that's really cute and positive.
Yeah.
Egg McMuffin. You're my little egg McMuffin.
Oh, that is
Like,
Yeah, but-
adorable.
That
but
was
what
huge.
about like Banff of the day? Be like, you're a Big Mac. That's like,
Yeah, you're a big
Oh,
Mac.
like say, yeah. Egg McMuffins are pretty cute.
cute.
That's
Yeah.
more cutesy, like,
cutesy
oh,
thing.
you're my little, like
You're
maybe
my
I'd call
little
my
egg
kid,
Mc-
like,
yes,
you're
you
my
call
little
your
Egg
Egg
McMuffin.
McMuffin?
Yeah. my loves-
McMuffin. Just saying McMuffin
My
is
little
fun.
McMuffin.
Yeah.
McMuffin. How many
Yeah.
times can you say it fast? McMuffin. I can't. I already lost.
Twice. Apparently twice is
Two
for you.
times.
Apparently.
Two.
What? McMuffin. Fuck.
Wow.
Wow, he ended that one with a fuck.
I
That
know.
was 12. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Ready?
We're gonna need more fingers.
McMuffin. I can't.
No.
Three. I can't. It's too hard.
Same boat. We're in the same
Sweet.
boat.
Sweet.
See, I got you. You beat me though, so you got second.
I did. I got second. But there was what was that one radio? It was in LA. They would do a thing if you could say their. Oh, it was Star 98.7, and you had to say that. Like
Star
as many
98.7, Star
Yeah.
98.7, Star
98.7,
98.7, Star 98.7. Over and over and over
I
again.
was-
Really?
So
Yeah.
then I was trying to shorten it by instead of saying 98.7, I said, what if I just say Star 98.7? I'll shorten the time because if
Oh,
you get 10,
instead of
you
98,
get
you're
10
98.
seconds
Yeah.
to say it as many times, and then you would get every time you said it, you got $1,000. So if you
Okay.
said it 20 times in 10 seconds, you got $20,000.
Wait, did you call and do
no,
this?
No, I'm just saying if it ever happened to me, if I ever got
oh,
to be
this
the
is the
call-in,
tip. We got
this
it.
is-
Oh, I
This
see.
is me like rehearsing when I was younger. I was like, I'm
see.
gonna do it.
We all did
and
it.
so I said this to my friend. I was like, watch how many I can do. I went start at 8.7, start at 8.7, start at 8.7, and then my friend goes, no sir, you just said snarpison, which is a fish in the Pacific Northwest that does not count as star 98.7. So my friend was messing with me. So.
Snarp.
Snarpison, yeah. Star 8.7, star 8.7, star 8.7, star 8.7. She goes, no, that's snarpison.
No,
It's not
that's a fish, sir.
It's a fish, sir.
Snarpison is a fish.
Yes, it's what they use for fish
Wow.
fillets, basically. Yes.
Oh, so instead of calling him a fish fillet, we can call him a
Snarpison.
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 Okay, snarpison.
I do wanna-
Snarpison sandwich.
I do want to talk about one thing that you do not like so much, but I know that Brittany enjoys, and that's astrology.
Yes.
If you don't mind, please.
I will
let me just
indulge.
quick-
I
okay.
will indulge.
Well, oh, thank you. It's not going to be a large portion of this.
It's going to be
podcast,
the
but
whole
it'll-
thing.
Sure, we are.
You two are dragons.
We are, yes.
You're the dragon.
We are.
Now, let me tell you something.
Uh-oh.
When you're talking about Western astrology, no one in this country says the number one sign to be is fill in the blank. There's not one sign that's the better than all the other signs.
For
Whether
sure.
you're Aries, Cancer, every Western astrology sign has its positive traits and its negative
Yeah,
traits.
I was
okay?
going to say there's some
Yeah.
goods and bads with each one.
With every single one. But in China, when it comes to Chinese astrology,
Okay.
parents try to have their kids, they try to have, procreate so that their kids are born in the year of the dragon. Because it is agreed upon that is the best sign to be. Yes, number
Well.
uno.
That's
Okay.
Well.
But let me tell you,
Flattered.
your sign, both of you have the most potential for greatness. Okay? The most potential for greatness when your
Squander
life
that shit so fast.
when your
No, we
when your
won't.
life is in balance. When your life is in balance. When your life is not in balance, you fall further than anyone. So I tell people that you're the dragon. You could be the president of the United States, or you could be the dude on the side of the freeway with a sign looking for handouts.
Yeah,
right?
that sounds
you can fall
sounds
further than anyone
accurate.
else. Okay. The other thing with you two, and you may be able to corroborate this, I don't know, but dragon children, when they're kids, when they throw their temper tantrum, it's like a gale force. It's like a hurricane.
Oh,
the temper
I can
tantrums of
contest to that
dragons.
one.
Yes, you agree?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
when I was a kid, I was a little shit.
Oh
Were you?
man.
Oh, I was.
When you
I
threw
do
it-
remember that.
I can
when
see
you
it.
got when you
I
got
can see it.
when you got pissy, your parents wanted to tear their hair out because
I'm
it's
sure.
like I'm dealing with the Tasmanian devil
Yeah,
right
I was
now.
a- I
What
was a
is
little shit.
happening?
What's
okay?
the? Oh my gosh! Now
And
I'm interested in my
now,
kids.
the other thing is-
because I have one that's like that.
Right, but here's the deal: with both of your kids, both you guys, you have kids and you have kids.
Right.
They all have to know: do not continuously poke the dragon, because both of you can hold your temper for a while, but when you two lose it as adults, everyone's got to clear the house. Is the bottom line. So that's the kids got to.
I
be
used
careful.
to be that way.
But then you've changed that.
I have.
Well,
Good for
I
you.
just leave. I'm.
So you actually leave the
I
premises.
will if
when
I
you're-
well
when
if
you're that
my kids are
angry.
around. Yeah, I'm like I'm not gonna. But I could all day.
I used to get angry, but I've
controlled it.
controlled that.
Good for
You learn how to
You've
control it.
learned.
I have. Over the
I didn't
last,
know it was my
literal
dragon
7,
energy,
8
though.
It's
years.
dragon energy.
I love. I'm gonna start using that now. Are you angry?
No.
No, it's my dragon energy. I don't know what are you talking about.
I'll tell you what though, it's only been in the last 10 years.
Really? That
Yeah.
you've been able to, well, I'm
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for being able to. get a
Yeah,
handle
honestly,
on it.
and in those 10 years too. Honestly, like. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people grow older and then we're like, we're never gonna change. It's
Yeah,
like the
shittier.
fact that you could or
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you took steps to you said this is the problem and then took steps to make it better. It's
Well,
like that's good.
I remember my relationship with my dad, and he was a really angry person. And I'm like, I don't want that relationship with my kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was my big change.
But it'd be amazing if you were in China and you got pulled over for speeding, and they're like, "Ma'am, you were speeding," and you're like, "Well, but it was my dragon energy." Oh, of course.
They let me
ahead.
go.
They let you go.
Oh,
Maybe.
yes.
Yeah, maybe in China.
Maybe.
Your best friends, both of you dragons, are other dragons, monkeys, and rats. Those are the three best friends.
Are we
of all.
supposed to avoid the dog or did the menu lie to me?
The menu, that I'm not entirely sure. Every sign has one arch enemy.
Yeah.
So maybe if someone like Des can Google who is the arch enemy of the dragon.
I
you're
need
the
to
dragon.
know.
I would
got
like to
this.
know that. Yeah, because there's one. For monkey, it's tiger.
Tiger is your-
Tiger is the one that is absolutely my super enemy. And then my kind of secondary enemy is Year of the Pig, and my sister is Year of the Pig.
Ooh.
So we fought like cats and dogs all entire life. all
That's
the way
so
into our
funny.
20s. Yeah,
It's
really
not
bad.
funny to fight, but I mean, like, also it's kind of like sibling rivalry, but then you have that stacked against you. So
Yes.
it's like, oh, we're really mad.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So I want to find out if Des can find that, that one sign that dragon should stay away from, because there is one, and it may be dog.
What if it's one of the people in this room right now?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that would not be a good.
We could get in a fight on camera.
Oh, we just don't.
Just kidding. We'll just go out back. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, throw blows on the trampoline.
There's that. We'll just throw lemons at each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Did
which
you find out?
she's
almost
getting
there.
it right
She's
now.
getting there. Anyway,
In which you said you are a one more
Monkey.
time monkey.
You're the monkey,
You're a
yeah.
monkey, but we're good then, right? Monkeys and dragons are like
Monkeys and
chill.
Dragons are chill.
Okay.
Yeah, like this grouping of three of us is perfection.
Yes.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so it says best match, rooster or rat for dragon, and then non-match would be dog, ox, or goat.
Uh-oh. Good thing
So,
you're not a
good
ghost.
thing you're not a goat there, Des.
Dog.
Thank goodness, I guess.
know.
Yeah, thank
And I
goodness.
was a
You
little
just saved it.
disappointed for a minute.
I
But
know.
guess who is Ox? Britt's husband. Britt's band. Sorry, her man is Ox. So
I see
is
that.
actually-
I can see that.
That's not your ideal sign. So there you go.
I'm just going to stay silent on that.
That's all right. Basically,
Yeah, very interesting.
remember,
Very
I love
interesting.
that.
yes, it's
interesting.
dragons, rats, and monkeys.
We're gonna
that are
change our
best-
logo.
Best friends. There you go.
It's gonna be a dragon.
Everything's a dragon now.
Everything's a
I didn't
dragon.
even think we could have called this show Double Dragon.
Double dragon. Oh, damn you!
The whole time.
Damn you!
D squared.
If we knew.
squared.
If we knew.
love it.
No, I had a
Welcome
show
to D to
called
the
J
second power.
squared. I'm
Oh, you
glad
had
we
a
did-
J squared
I had
show?
a J squared.
So
I'm
Double
like,
Dragon. Welcome
no.
to Double Dragon Podcast. I like that. And you're both cancers.
Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to get off the subject as fast as I can. These two are
gonna cut it
dragons and cancers, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
This is true.
Cancers, and as a sign of
Dragons
cancer,
with crabs.
Dragons with crabs. That's us.
I did not go
That
there.
should be the freaking name of the thing.
Dragons with crabs.
Dragons with crabs. I'm switching it now. We're called. Hi everyone, welcome back to Dragons with Crabs.
No, just say DWC. DWC podcast. What does that stand
DWC?
for? Dragons with crabs.
Imagine the what is that thing called? Your logo.
Oh, I
we
am
can
imagining
make
it. I
one.
already have it in my mind.
I have one too. See, we're
It's
already
working.
editing in our
Dragon
head.
energy is happening. I will say this: Cancer is the mother of the world. You guys care about a lot of things
Oh.
like dogs, pets, any type of animals. You're
That's
very
true.
You care about that, and to the point of sometimes obsession with caring for everything.
Yeah.
everyone,
For sure. I
every-
spent 2 hours the other day picking up worms off the sidewalk
See,
because they went
that's-
into. They were
that's
out of the
ca-
grass and into the water.
cancer.
and I wanted
Trust
to
me.
save them.
Ain't no Leos doing that.
I'm
It's
not
all
saying-
cancers that are.
I'm
doing
never
that.
saving a worm, but I definitely will save a snail.
Oh yeah. See?
Oh, snails all day.
Yes.
They live in my house. I had a guy come to. He wanted to spray my house for stuff, and he's like, "There's spider webs up here," and I was like, "They're fine. You
Yeah.
leave them alone."
Leave them
I said,
alone.
"You
Yeah,
leave
no,
them.
it's-
They're
you're-
part of my habitat that I've
That's
created."
cancer. You're extremely caring for all beings and every type of animal, insect, doesn't matter. You guys care about it all. So
Okay, you're monkey in Chinese. What are you in America? In the West, Sagittarius.
So, yeah,
That's
the
my
traveler.
rising.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I love a
There
Sagittarius.
you go.
I
So-
love their energy.
Yep. So Sag energy. That's what I've been. I think that's what makes me an actor. Really, the Sag energy. And
Oh, for sure.
Monkey. Interesting enough, in the Chinese zodiac, they're known as the entertainers of the zodiac.
Interesting.
it's
Oh,
almost
so
like
you're
a
double
double
down.
entertainer. Yes.
That's
So
something.
we get stuck with mothering everything, and you
Yes.
get to go entertain the
I
world.
get to entertain the world. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. John's all quiet because it's
Sorry,
like
John.
astrology. Get over it.
Okay,
It's
we're-
fine. I know. Now that I'm now. Sorry, we got to suffer
You know what'd be
through.
cool? You know how certain cars have that air-conditioned seats in the car?
Yeah.
What if they made regular chairs that had AC that popped out?
What if he had those massage seats that
Yeah.
you can get?
Yeah.
What if you had those?
Those are
But
okay.
while it's
But I'd
cold,
rather
No,
have-
that you put it in your chair and it turns into air conditioning while you're sitting down
Oh, well, that'd be nice too.
for an add-on.
Yeah, I'd pay for that. That'd be good.
I'd pay for that.
I'd pay for that.
I'm still. What do you?
I think he
Is
hears
it still
another-
on?
No, I think that little fan.
Oh, the tiny fan. That's the one.
The heater? Is the heater on?
No.
It's just fan.
It's the-
Like, no
He's like,
wonder.
no wonder why I'm dying over here.
And it's funny too because it's weird that I got hot right now because usually I'm freezing. I'm like
Right.
I'm shivering cold all the time.
But there's extra bodies in this room, and it's a small room.
Yeah,
and
it is.
now
You're used to this. You've been in front of lights for a long time.
I have. I was literally the sweater on. Wardrobe told me. Wardrobe said, "Hey, every Star Trek series has one person that sweats more than another.
Yeah.
Right? So each series, and they said you are the one for this show.
What an honor.
Oh, thank you so much. But it sucked because the uniforms we're wearing, the color is on top.
Color blocking is on top. The black is
here.
below.
So now when I'm sweating around my midsection area, my pits, whatever, when it dries, it's a white salt line
and
from
it
the
shows,
perspiration.
and you had that,
And it shows
and you had that gold.
Yes.
You had that gold brown, right?
I had gold and black. So they actually made me a special. I had an undershirt on there, so they made like a special thing that had pads there to like soak up all the arms underneath sweat, and so they made a special undergarment
Well,
for
that's
me to
good.
catch all the sweat.
I
'cause
love
it was
that.
difficult, dealing with that. Yeah. But every Trek has one sweater, so I was
so
like, huh.
So you were the official
Garrett-
sweater.
Official sweater.
Garrett was his official sweater for Voyager.
Yes,
Yeah.
they didn't have LED lights back then.
No, it was all
all
like-
regular hot lights.
tungsten
That's what
lighting.
I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
we're complaining right now that we're hot, but I can only
my
imagine
God.
like back in the day how
Yeah.
hot those lights were.
My buddy's a lighting technician, right? So he was whatever his role is, but he's getting rid of all of his incandescent stuff because he can't use it anymore. It's like
And-
obsolete.
Exactly. But in 1995, 96,
That's all
97,
we
it was
had.
all incandescent lighting.
Yeah, that's all we had.
And I remember one scene we were filming with Robbie McNeil, my co-host on the podcast that I do. Robbie played Tom Paris, and
Yes.
we were filming a scene. The camera's on the side of his face, and it's hot as hell in there. And he's sweating, but he's only sweating on the side of the face away from camera.
Oh,
and I'm
nice.
like, wow. I go, you're such a
I was
professional.
gonna
Look
say,
at you.
what a
You-
trained
yeah.
actor.
You're so
Dude,
well.
he could even train his sweat
trained
glands.
You sweat.
glands.
Do you hear that? You sweat to the right, not the left.
Yes.
He's like, I got you. I got
I
it.
got it. All right. Oh, you need me to switch? Give me a second.
Yeah, hold on one
What a
second.
professional.
All right.
Pushes
I'm
it out
good
that
now.
way.
Yeah.
It's one thing
What
to
was-
cry on camera, but
You're wearing a hat for your
My
I was gonna
podcast,
say, yeah. What is your
It's
podcast?
called the Delta Flyers.
Why
And
didn't it come up when I Googled you? You should probably check your SEOs. Because
Really?
yes,
Yeah.
I was doing research on you and that never
Yeah.
came up. So
Wow.
Yeah.
just an FYI for
weird.
you.
But if you ask
Okay.
you ask Siri, she will play.
oh, Siri will.
Flyers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was
You
just.
don't even need to say the name of the podcast. You just need to say play the Garrett Wang podcast.
And it'll pop
It'll
up?
play one of two things. It'll either play
Yeah.
your song.
Song.
What?
Didn't you record music?
You have a
No.
song
Never.
There is music.
Of me
under your
singing?
name? Is it like a
Yes.
remix?
Oh no, I didn't know. There's this guy that does like how do you say it? His name is Voltaire, and he does these songs where he just comes up with parody songs. And so he was.
But
doing
I
a
swear
parody
it's
song.
you on that song.
No, I only had one line in there. It was just like one lyric, and that was quick. I don't sing in the whole thing.
No. It was just like a
Oh, but you were on it.
like
You made a
catch,
cameo.
Yeah.
because it says with Garrett Wang.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You're
it's just-
featured?
yeah. It was just
Wow.
literally one.
Yeah.
I didn't say much.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
It popped
Do you
up.
remember-
That popped up,
do you
and I'm like,
remember
no.
what
Well,
you
I think I said like with Ensign Kim. I was like he pointed at me and I just sang my character's name. And
I
it
love
was
that.
done.
Yeah.
But then if it's not playing that, then it goes to my podcast. Then if you say Garrett Wang
Correct.
podcast. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So that podcast began in 2020.
Okay, I'm
And
looking at Delta Flyers.
the
I'm going to
Delta
remember because I'm
Flyers,
going to
yeah.
listen to all of them
Yes.
right after this one.
Okay.
There's a lot, dude.
There's a lot. So we basically we review every single episode of the show that I was on, Star Trek Voyager, chronologically, season 1, episode 1, episode 2. So each
Oh.
week we recorded ourselves talking about the behind the scenes of each episode.
So you're
things that
spilling the
happened.
tea.
Spilling the tea a little bit, and he's Robbie's a TV director now. That's what all he does. So he'll talk about camera angles and shot selection. So he'll bring his director's viewpoint into it, and I'll talk about what happened behind the scenes in a particular scene. And we also have guests and whatnot. So we have the free version you can find on Spotify, iTunes. It's available anywhere you can download a podcast. But then we have a Patreon version where people subscribe to
the
it.
extra.
Yeah, Patreon.com.
What's funny about your podcast, because I've listened to a few episodes, is Robbie is a lot like me, where I don't remember a lot of things in my past.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And every time they watch an episode to recap on it,
Yeah.
it's like a memory recall for him.
Like
he
it's
forgot,
coming, it's all coming back.
He forgot all of it, and Garrett's the one kind of chiming in.
Garrett's
and
like, you don't remember? It was a Thursday.
Do you remember this?
and-
Do you remember that? It's fantastic.
That's so cool.
It makes it really interesting.
The only thing that Robbie remembered was so the format of our podcast is we have the first 10 to 15 minutes where we just kind of, we talk about life, whatever.
Yeah, just a little intro and-
intro banter, yeah. But then we start getting into the recap of whatever the episode was, and we'll do a synopsis, a poetry synopsis. So I'll do a haiku, and he'll do a limerick, right? So we actually set it up that way.
Wait, do you pre-write it before the
We pre-write it
episode?
for
Because you
the
got to sit
episode,
there and
yeah.
think about it, right? Do
Exactly.
you know one off
Yeah.
the top of your head? A haiku?
No.
You don't remember any of your episode ones?
No, definitely.
575, right?
No, yeah, 575.
Yes,
Exactly.
haiku.
But it was during one of our intro banter things that Robbie remembered one thing. He says, I'm going to impersonate Robbie. Robbie has a more higher pitched, breathier voice. He's like, Garrett, do you remember the time that we received a gift from production? They gave us an expensive bottle of wine or champagne, something. Do you remember that? Do you recall that? I'm like, what? I go, no, we didn't receive that. I don't remember that at all. And I'm shocked that you remember it because, Robbie, typically you don't remember anything. And he's like, no, this happened. I said, okay, let's check. So I decided to call some of my other castmates on my cell phone. I called Tim Russ up, who played the Vulcan, straight to voicemail. Called Chakotay up, who played our first officer, Robert Beltran, straight to voicemail. And Robbie goes, you know what? I'm going to call Bob Picardo. He always answers. And sure enough, Bob Picardo, who played the doctor on our show, he answers. And he's like, hello, Robbie. And then Robbie's like, hey, Bob, you're live. You're being recorded. You're live on our podcast. We had to ask you a question. And, well, I'm actually exercising. I'm on my mountain bike. And so he was riding his mountain bike on a trail, okay? He goes, what's the question, Robbie? And Robbie goes, do you recall an expensive bottle of wine that we got from production for Christmas? And Picardo goes, oh, yes, I do recall that. That did happen. And so Robbie goes like, see, it did happen. And as we're talking to Bob Picardo, he crashes on his mountain bike.
Shut up.
You hear him go,
So crazy.
and then it's dead silent, right?
Oh, no.
So we're recording on Zoom on our microphones, and I look at Robbie and I go, I think you killed Bob Picardo. Oh, my God. And he's like, holy crap. We hear nothing. 20 seconds later, all of a sudden you hear someone picking a phone up, and it's Bob. He's like, oh, well, I seem to have crashed. I seem to have slipped on some leaves like that. Or, Bob, are you okay? Well, I seem to have an abrasion on my left butt cheek. Like, so he's totally skinned his butt cheek, right? So he's bleeding, but he's not broken bones.
Sure.
But I'm fine. I'm like, well, we're so happy, Bob, that you didn't die. Thank you. But it was podcast gold.
I was
for
going to
this-
say,
Oh
this sounds
my
fantastic.
God.
And
Oh.
it was on FaceTime?
Oh my God! It was on. Well, we record on Zoom, so it was like
So,
it was recorded on.
was he?
Oh no, he was not on FaceTime. No, it was
oh,
all
He was
audio.
just on
That's
call.
why
I
we
was
didn't.
that would have
that's
been
why we
super
didn't-
gold.
That's why we didn't know if he was alive or not, because it was on audio only and it was
Oh,
dead
so then you
quiet.
guys had this-
We thought
Sure.
he was unconscious. We didn't know until 20 seconds later he picks up his phone and says, "I slipped on some leaves."
That's the first episode I'm watching. I
You have
can't.
to-
Because I want to see that the awkward silence of after it goes, and you guys kind of look at each
Oh
other
my
because I'm sure
God.
you're just
We were
kind of
just-
both panicked
We
in
were
that
panicked.
moment.
We were so panicked because I thought we distracted him so much.
And he does,
crashed.
but
and
he also does always answer the phone.
He
Is that what
always
Robbie
answers the
said?
phone. Yes,
he was
and he
literally
sure-
mountain biking, and he answered
the phone while exercising.
Yeah,
right?
not me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not answering
Oh,
the phone
no.
on my bike.
So-
I don't answer the phone when I'm not doing anything.
That's
I couldn't
true.
imagine on a bike.
That's true.
God. But months and months and months after this, every convention appearance that Robert Picardo had,
Sure.
fans would walk up and go, "Is your butt cheek doing okay? How's your butt cheek?" And so Bob is like, "Thank you, Garrett. I have you to thank for that. I will be. People are asking about the welfare of my butt cheek every time I go to a convention."
And
so he gets a little.
Just so you know, his voice of him is spot on.
Every voice he's doing is so good.
It's really good.
And literally, when we were outside taking a break, Des goes, "Your voice is really good."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that's
a nice
true.
compliment.
When you remember
Yes.
when you filmed Ethan's sketch, his video,
Yeah, yes,
he
yes,
did a George
I did.
Takei freaking bit
Like,
it was
or did you play him or impersonation during it?
It was really funny.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Oh no.
Hello, my name is George Takei. It rhymes with gay. That's how he talks. So.
D squared.
Yeah, D squared. Yeah.
That's
So-
really good
Yeah, isn't it?
though. Wait, but I
Please
was
give
turning.
me an oh my.
Oh my.
It's so good. I'm so jealous. I
sat
wish
there-
I could
I
do
was
this.
at DragonCon, where I'm the director of Star Trek programming for that convention in Atlanta, Georgia. It's every year during Labor Day weekend. I was
wanna go.
moderating a panel. You should go. I was moderating a panel with George Takei as the guest. He was sitting next to me, and some fan said something which George was about to say "oh my" to, but I beat him to the punch.
Oh, that's
and I went "oh my," and then George looks at me and he's like "now." And that's my saying. Like he got a little cheeky with
He's
me.
like, hey, that's my
Yeah,
line.
yeah. Don't take my line away from me. So it was really a very funny interaction. But back to the podcast. So it
Sure.
started in 2020 during the pandemic, and that was the time when my significant other Megan, she said, "You know that idea of a podcast that you have talking about episodes of Voyager and the behind the scenes?" I go, "Yeah, you should do it now." I'm like, "Yeah, but she goes, you should do it now. It's the pandemic.
She was spot
Nothing
on
is going on.
and with
right?
timing and everything,
Yeah.
like perfect time.
And she said, you should have a co-host. I said, no, I want to do this on my own. She's like, no, you should have a co-host. And
Always.
on the show, your best buddy on the show is Tom Paris. So it should be him, Robbie McNeil. I said, well, Robbie is a busy television director. He's so he's wanted by everybody. He's always working. There's no way that he has time for this. And she looks at me and she goes, it's the pandemic. Everything. This is March of 2020.
Everything's
Yeah,
Everything is shut
you
down.
can't do
I go,
anything else.
Yeah.
She goes, I promise you, he's not directing anything now. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. So I
It's
called
true.
him up and I pitched him on it. And I was like, what do you think? And his response was, I don't know. I mean, you think anyone would be interested in hearing about us behind the scenes?
For sure.
I said, have you been to a convention? Have you been to a Star
Exactly.
Trek convention? Have you been to a
Specifically
Of course,
a
they
Star
would
Trek
love
convention.
that.
Yes,
Right.
and
Oh
I
my
feel like
God.
that's happened. It's been happening with so many shows
That-
too,
yeah.
right?
This
It's
show
that
was supposed to start that same time as when I put feelers out for what do you call it, a co-host, and
you didn't put him in the right place
I-
because I would have jumped on immediately if I
didn't.
knew that.
Had I done it a few years sooner, it would have been we would have been at the same point where.
But we've only started like 2 years later, so it's fine.
That's true.
But I'm
Anyway.
saying it's like I do that though because I'm like, okay, I love this show so much. I want, like I said, I want the tea. I want to know what happened behind the scenes. I want to know how that
Exactly.
went. I want to know
For
how
sure.
you felt doing it. Like getting the
Exactly.
actor's perspective
It was huge.
but no one else can offer that. You're the
No.
only one that can offer that.
Exactly.
In fact, there's a podcast called The Delta Flyer, singular, no S at
No
the end.
S.
It's two fans talking about the Voyager episodes. But that's nice, but
Yeah.
they don't know what
It's
happened
not the
there.
same.
It's
No,
not
no,
the
no.
same.
It's two
No,
fanboys talking
no.
about
You should watch
property.
this. You should watch their podcast, and then you should say everything they got wrong
Yeah.
because you know the right answer.
You know,
They're just
it's funny.
stoked.
There's people that do the same thing for like YouTubers that I personally know, and they'll go through the effort of having these thoughts of what they thought happened in their lives.
Right.
I'm like, that's not what happened, but I can't say what happened because it's not my place to say.
Yeah, but
exactly
you
what
know they're
happened.
wrong.
I
That's
know
all
they're
you
wrong.
know.
I'm like, haha, you're wrong.
Like that's not really what happened.
No.
We know the truth.
Exactly.
But you know exactly what happened because you were there. Robbie doesn't
Totally.
remember, but you do.
Yes, I,
So we have
you
one
guys are
for
gonna get me in
sure.
trouble bagging on Robbie right now.
We're
No,
not
we
bagging
love
on
Robbie. I'm just
We-
kidding.
Okay.
I don't even know Robbie, and I
And you
love
still
Robbie.
love him?
Yeah,
It's
oh,
all out of
absolutely.
love.
Yeah.
No, I told him once. I said to him, because he's always been the guy that's made me laugh. And anytime that I've been upset when I was filming the show about, I don't know, interaction with my manager or something, if I got upset about anything, he knew what to say to diffuse it immediately.
He knows, yeah, he knew.
He would always know to say one thing that would make me laugh and stop being angry. So I told him, I said, I'll tell you right now, man. I mean, you've always diffused me and made me laugh. I said, if I was a woman, I would date you, is what I said. I was saying,
Like, no,
because
but
the
you're
thing
right, though. That's a great
this is
quality.
this is somebody who can calm me down.
Yes,
For sure.
he knows how to
Yeah.
calm me
Saying?
down.
Yeah.
It's like before I can get to that Karen stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
He's
says
already
his thing.
shut it down.
He
immediately.
gives you the Snickers.
Yes. I munch on the Snickers and I'm okay. I'm no
it.
longer hangry. Yeah,
exactly. That's awesome.
So I said
we need more
to-
people like that in our lives.
Yes,
We really do.
yes, yes. So I said, if I was a gay man, I would date you. If I was a straight woman, I would date you because you're the type of person I need in my life to compliment me
Yes,
in a way.
it's
right?
a compliment to each other. Like it's a rare trait to find, or just somebody that's so in tune to you that they know what to do to calm you down. Like that's magic,
Here,
Yes.
I bring you a sandwich.
right?
Or a Snickers.
No,
whatever you
a
want.
Snickers.
whatever
You don't even have to
Snickers,
ask.
yeah,
You just
don't have to
know.
ask. You just all of a sudden have a Snickers in your hand. You're like,
Bing.
oh, I
Thank
guess
you.
I do. I guess I am acting like a little bitch.
Exactly.
Okay, so when we go down your IMDb,
Yes.
the list is pretty long.
It's it's medium length. It's not super long.
So the
Thank you for saying that.
the beginning of your IMDb.
What does it say? There's
Well,
a bunch
no,
of,
I'm not even concerned about your.
Wait, are you saying my favorite part? Or are you
No.
okay?
So I know.
We'll get there.
I know the history of already, and I love this story because how he got the role of being Harry Kim, Ensign Harry Kim. You were trying out for another part at the same time, were you not? Not for another show, but for a movie, for a film. Were you not?
Oh my! Did you just remember something that Garrett didn't?
Oh, he remembers.
Impressed.
He remembers.
Okay,
He
good.
remembers. But the story was really interesting because I remember him telling me a while back, and I'm like, that's crazy. It's like he had this adventure just to get his role.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had. So when I went into the audition for Voyager, I had been busy preparing for another. It was a callback audition for a film called Glory Days, which was about basically this. The writer was it was his college life. So in college, he went to UC Santa Cruz, and he lived in a house with 5 roommates, and they were like the party house. Like they even had a band. They had a punk band, and so this was the true life story of this writer. And Rich Wilkes is it Rich Wilkes? Rich, maybe I got that wrong, but regardless, Rich was his first name. So the callback audition was, I had to come back and lip sync or sing the punk song. Because in real life, the lead singer and his roommate was Japanese American. Okay, so this was a major, awesome role.
Yes.
Right?
Nice.
So his name was Josh, but they always called him Slosh because he was always doing shots of vodka all night long. So Slosh was
very
his name.
fitting.
Slosh was there.
But he was the lead singer of the punk band.
Yeah,
and
he
so
has to be Slosh.
The song was called 21, and it was about getting your newfound freedom when you turn 21. So you hear lyrics sort of like, now we are 21, now we're going to have some fun. So it was all this crazy punk sort of like, I don't want no Apple Jacks. I want, you're moving from cereal to manhood. And that's and you're a man when you say no more cereal, I guess. So
we all know that. That's when you become a man, right?
That's
when you give up your Apple Jacks.
When I stopped eating Apple Jacks.
For women, it's corn puffs. It's
corn
how it
puffs,
goes, yeah.
Apple Jack. Was it corn puffs for you too? Yeah, okay, I get it.
So the callback audition, they said and they gave us a cassette tape. That's what they had back then. There was no DVD, no CD.
It was a
cassette
so
tape.
And you had to learn how to lip sync from the cassette.
Lip sync it or sing this song. And I walked into this audition area. This building was 99% commercial auditions. So Folgers Coffee, Budweiser. So it was all and it was always the busiest waiting room in Hollywood because there were hundreds of actors auditioning for different commercials. Like they would cast like 25 commercials per day there.
Oh man, so it was packed.
It was packed, but one room was used for this film callback, and that's how it was. It would be 25 rooms of commercial casting and one of feature film or television. Right?
Sure.
So I was the one feature film casting. So I walk in there, and this song 21, I start initially lip syncing. But then as I got more into it, because I went out and bought, like I was my wardrobe was I had a white wife beater. I had a bowling shirt that said Slosh's Sliding Swillers. I found something that had the name.
That said Slosh on it?
It had Slosh on the back. So
that's fantastic.
Bought that from Aardvarks in LA, right? I was like,
fantastic.
Oh my God. Had that on, had a bunch of crazy jewelry on and everything. And I had ripped jeans and everything.
So you were playing the part.
So I was playing
you
the part.
Were going all in,
yeah. And so as I'm doing this song, towards the end, the final part of the song, you hear the lead singer screaming. He's like, 20, wow. 21. And as he's singing 21, you hear all mayhem breaking loose. Like things are being broken in the soundtrack. So when I was doing the 21 at the beginning, I actually, the chair that was in the room for the audition, I took that and threw that against the wall. I ripped my clothes, my wife beater. I ripped a big hole in there. And the final 21, I was going to go 21, but the last second I went 20. And I flipped off the producer, the casting director, everybody like that.
Yes.
And then when I stopped, and then everyone was just like, I mean, the mouths were agape. The producer director who wrote everything walked around the camera where he was recording the callback, and he's a 6'5" white boy. He walks up to me, and I'm like, oh, what's happening here? He grabs me in a bear hug and lifts me up off the ground, so my feet are dangling now. And he whispers in my ear, I love you, man. Like that. And at that point, as my feet are dangling, I'm like, I think I got the role. Like that. Like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty positive.
Okay, but you went all
fantastic.
in.
went
That's
all
the way
in.
to do it.
Yes.
You got to go all in.
But check it out. After I walked out of that room,
Yeah, it gets better.
Remember that waiting area
Yes,
of all those
yes.
actors, hundreds of them, chatting about what you did last weekend. It's really loud. Well, because I threw the thing against the wall and I was yelling,
And screaming, yeah.
I walk out. The entire waiting area is just staring at me.
Like,
all their mouths are like, what happened? Did you just murder somebody in there? It was like, oh my God. They were all quiet. And I was like, I think I got the role. And they were like, hey, good job. I get applause and I walk out of there. And as I'm walking, I had my next audition, which is the first audition for Star Trek Voyager at Paramount Studios. So I had to rush from this commercial casting area to Paramount Studios. And I get there, and I get a page. Everyone had pagers back then, so
Right.
So I call my agent on the pager, and I go, "You paged me?" He's like, "Yeah, you booked Glory Days." I said, "I know, I booked it." He's like, "How do you know?" I said, "The director, like he bear hugged me. Yeah, he literally
I
bear
know.
hugged
Hug
me.
He
from
told
the
me-
director,
He told me he
And he
loved
said,
me.
I love you.
whispered, I
I love you in my ear. Yes, without
If
any.
he wasn't going to catch you, I'd be kind of scared.
He's clearly asking me on a date right now. Yes. And so as I'm talking to my agent, I said, what the? I'm in a phone booth on Paramount Studios, the old-fashioned phone booths that you
Oh,
walk
yeah, with
into.
the doors.
Yeah, with the doors. And I'm standing in there, the clear glass, and Rich, the director / producer and the writer, is walking past the phone booth. He's also at Paramount Studios, and he's walking with one other dude. I'm like, what the? I go, hey, the director is here. I'm going to talk to you in a minute. I'll call you back. So I hang up on that. I rush out of the phone booth. I go, Rich. And he's like, Garrett. I'm like, what? I said, what are you doing here? He said, I'm getting a tour of the Star Trek Voyager set. I'm like, what? Yeah, I went to school with Brandon Braga.
Oh
He
my
went to
God.
UC Santa Cruz. He's one of the writers on the show, so he's giving me a tour. He's my college buddy. And I'm like,
Right.
wow. He goes, what are you doing here? I said, well, I'm actually auditioning for your friend's show right now. It's my first audition.
This was the same
This
day?
is the same day. And so then that
How crazy is that?
producer writer looks at
Nuts.
me, and he's really cryptic. Brandon Braga is the type of guy that he's a man of few words, and when he speaks, it's almost like haunting, So he looks at me. I said, "I'm auditioning for you," and he goes, "I hope to see you in the second round." That's all he said. And it was
It's
just
all-
like,
you're right, it's
yeah,
all
it was,
cryptic.
no, it
You're
was,
like,
it was very Halloween-y,
Yeah.
kind of like, I hope
Sure.
to see, like Bela Lugosi. I hope to see you in the second round, And I was like, oh my God. And as they were walking away, I did not know this, but the conversation between the two of them was, Rich Wilkes turned to Brandon Braga and he says, "Don't you dare steal my actor from me. Don't you dare. Don't you." And that's what ended up happening. When I booked Star Trek, I had to turn down Glory Days.
Oh,
and yes.
crazy.
But only because of one reason. The first Captain Janeway, the captain of our show, the first female captain in Star Trek history, basically, was cast with Geneviève Bujold, a French-Canadian actress. She lasted a day and a half and she quit.
Oh, how
so
come?
Because she couldn't handle it.
It
She
was
was like,
too
the
much.
schedule was too
Well,
much.
I like the
have two young
Janeway
kids.
you have.
Yes. So then they had to, but when they had to find another captain, female captain, and they already had an exhaustive search.
Yes.
Including, and Kate Mulgrew had already auditioned for the role,
Oh.
and she was horrible. She had a fight with her ex-husband the night before. She was horrible.
Yeah.
Right.
So to get a second chance at something as a series regular,
It's
she got
almost
lucky.
unheard of.
Her agent
Yeah.
had dropped her right before that. Her talent agent had, so she had some
That's
some
nuts.
random agency that was that was representing her. So she was on the downward slope really at
wow.
that point, and she got that second chance. But that was another exhaustive search. So they said, we're going to take a month off to figure this out. And then that pushed everything back, which means I was supposed to film the pilot of Voyager, which was going to take 30 days. And then I had enough time to film 2 movies. One was going to be Glory Days in Santa Cruz, and the other one I booked was Mortal Kombat. I had 2 weeks of the opening scene of the first Mortal Kombat movie. It's Shang Tsung, the bad guy,
Yeah,
and he's fighting Liu Kang's younger brother
No
and kills
crap.
him in the opening scene. So I was the opening scene of Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
And the way I booked that was the guy they booked for Liu Kang. They left it up to him. They were like,
Oh.
okay, here are the 3 guys that had callbacks. Garrett, so and so and so and so. Who do you want to be your little brother? He was like, Garrett. So I had that role, which I had to turn
Wow.
down as well because we couldn't find the Janeway. Yeah.
Oh,
But I
bummer.
have to repeat what happened my first audition for Voyager. So
Okay.
the guy goes, hope to see you in the second rounds. And they walk away. I walk into my office, and now I'm on a high. I
Right.
just booked
Like,
Voyager.
hell yeah. Right.
I met one of the producer writers of Voyager. This is awesome. So I go into the audition, and the casting director was a woman named Nan Dutton. So Nan's sitting there, and the first thing I notice is she has an ashtray on her desk. And I look at the ashtray. I'm like, oh my god, there's a mountain of cigarette butts. I mean, this woman
she's
is
making
not
a sculpture.
Yeah.
She's not a
And
she's
she's
not a
a-
smoker. She's a chain smoker.
And she's a hard ass too,
Oh
is she
my
not?
god, yeah. So as I walk in, I see her putting out, cigarette number 157
Of the
It's
day.
like, of the day.
Yeah, she has
I'm
a
like-
she has a case
She has
of
a-
cases.
oh my God.
cigarettes behind her.
And so I sit down and I start reading this audition with her, and she stops me after like 5 seconds. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "What?" I said, "What do you mean?"
that's not usually a good
No, that's
sign.
not a good
Whoa.
sign. She
Yeah.
goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm auditioning for you. Are you even prepared?" I said, "What do you mean? You're using your sides. You're still on book." I said, "This is a first audition. Typically, in a first audition, you can have sides. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to memorize it. For the callback, you
Sure.
memorize it." She goes, "Let me tell you a story." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Do you know who Andy Garcia is, the actor?" I go, "I'm very familiar with who he is. He did a feature film, his first feature film. It was called 8 Million Ways to Die. Are you familiar with that movie?" I said, "I know it very well. He's a Colombian drug lord in that one." She goes, "Yeah, I cast that movie. That's the first big movie that he came in to audition for." So when he came in for his first audition, do you think he was unprepared like you without knowing his lines? I go, "Oh, I guess not." That's right. He was prepared. He knew everything backwards and forwards. And that's what, and this is literally what she said to me. She goes, "And that's what makes him a star and you not." Like that. I was
Right
like,
on
oh.
the same
On
day
the
as
same
your
day.
high.
Just
Of
sitting
my
there
high.
getting a
She goes,
ribbing.
"Why weren't you prepared?" I said,
Right?
And before the audition too,
yes.
like
And she says, "Why weren't you prepared?" I said, "To be perfectly honest, I was preparing for my callback for a feature film called Glory Days, which I just found out that oh no." She goes, "Feature film? What's the name of it?" I go, "Glory Days." She goes, "Never heard of it," is what she said. And I said,
Of course she
I said,
hasn't.
"Okay,
Yeah.
well, it hasn't filmed yet. Probably why you haven't heard of it,
Right.
But typically in the industry, we have trade papers and people read like these are the
Yeah, they
project
know.
directors.
These are all
They know
green lit,
everything.
But she,
Yeah.
she's like, but she
But this
probably
is a-
did hear about it. To be honest,
Maybe.
she was giving you a
She was
hard
giving me a hard time.
Yeah.
And she said to me, I said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" She goes, "Get out of my office." I was like, "Okay." She goes, "Go learn." She goes, "Go learn these lines and come back." So I was already like frazzled.
But
'cause
she
I-
gave you a chance.
she did-
That
but
shit
to
doesn't
me-
happen either.
But to me, she already abused me verbally. So I walk out, and her casting assistant, this woman Libby, who is amazing. Libby helped me out a lot. So Libby was there, and I was like, your boss hates me. And she said, "What happened? What happened?" I said, "Well, I walk in there, I start reading the audition, we start doing the audition. 5 seconds later, she stops me, says I'm unprepared, and then tells me a story about Andy Garcia." And then she said, and then she goes, "And then what? And then what?" She told me to leave her office. She hates me. She goes, "But anything else?" She goes, she told me to go look at the lines and then come back and do it again. Oh. No. She actually likes you because she would not give you a second chance like that.
I was
And
gonna say
she's
with that
on your-
second chance,
she's
it
on
was
your
like
side.
it was
Yeah.
like a tough love
It
situation.
was, but I
Right.
didn't know that.
No, you had no
And
idea.
so I said to Libby, I said, "Look, I came from the highest of highs. I did a callback audition doing a punk song where I found out I booked the role.
And I did a great job.
Yeah, and let's face it, roles in the 90s for Asian Americans, you're nothing cool like that where you're the lead singer of the punk band. You're usually delivering Chinese food, okay?
Right.
You're the guy with the accent.
No, you're not wrong.
You're Lung Dak Dong from 16 Candles. It's always derogatory.
Right.
Nothing cool like that. So I was so excited, so jazzed to do this role. And so I told Libby, I said, I'm so frazzled right now. I would like you to ask your boss, ask Nan to reschedule me. And then she's like, what? What do you want me to ask her? I would like you to ask her to reschedule me for another day. I want to come back another day. And she said, I can't do that. I'm like, what? And so she was sort of living in fear of her boss as well. She goes,
I'm living in fear right now, listening to what's happening.
I said, Libby, I mean, are you being totally serious? You cannot ask her that question. She goes, you don't know. If when the shit hits the fan, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so what do you want me? She goes, okay. She goes, Garrett, or do me a favor. I don't want you to be in this building if she gets pissed off. So in the alley to the corner, go out to the door, go to the left. There's an alley. Go down the alley. There's a dumpster. Go hide behind. She goes, go behind the dumpster. Hide behind the dumpster with your script and memorize as best you can in case she doesn't agree with this. But I don't even want you to be in the building because this might be bad for you. I'm like, so now I'm freaking out. Like, oh my god, what's gonna happen?
Well, Libby dealt with her, so
Libby
she
dealt
knows.
with her, yeah, so she knows. So
For sure.
So I'm back there and I'm looking at the sides. 15 minutes passes, and Libby comes out and she's like, Garrett. She's whispering for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm right here. So she comes over. She goes, oh my god. I go, what happened? She's gonna let you reschedule. And I was like, what? Seriously? She goes, yeah. And I got to tell you right now, she must love you because
Seriously?
no one gets this chance
That
at all.
shit does not
happen. No.
No.
So
That was some crazy. She really
unbelievable.
liked
She
what he
really,
did.
but honestly, to me, it felt like that she absolutely hated my guts. That she was, not in my camp at all. But you're right, it was tough love, right?
Yeah.
So I come back and I auditioned for her then, and now I'm off book. I know my lines. And then I came back for 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 5 callbacks for that because every time I came back, she would do something different where after the 3rd callback, she goes, don't listen to the producers. They don't know what they want. You listen to me. I'm like, what? You listen to me. And as we're doing this scene, it's a scene from the pilot episode where my character, it's his first mission ever, and now he's contracted this alien disease where he thinks he's going to die, So the whole thing is like, I'm 70,000 light years away from home. It's my very first mission, and I'm going to die. So it's an emotional scene. It's a tough scene.
Yeah.
And as I'm doing the callback scene with her, Nan stops me again. She goes, stop. What is it with you actors? I'm like, what? He goes, do you know how to play pain? I was like, yes.
Let me demonstrate.
Yes. Oh no, yeah.
I'm like, where'd you put that cigarette out?
No.
No.
She goes, come here. I'm like, what? She goes, come behind my desk. Come over to me. I'm like, what? She goes, pull up your sleeve. I'm like, okay. And she grabs my wrist.
Did she
she does the Indian.
the Indian burn?
Yes. She Indian burns me. She goes, does that hurt? I go, yes. She goes, now do the scene right now. So I'm doing the scene. I'm like, I can't believe I've come 70,000 light years away from Earth, and now I'm gonna die. She goes, that's how you play pain. And I'm like, I'm being physically abused by this woman right now.
I feel like she was like your fairy godmother, but like under the disguise
the tough love fairy godmother.
She
This
was,
is the fairy godmother wearing a motorcycle jacket.
Yes,
okay?
she was tough. The tough godmother.
Oh my god!
But she gave you everything you needed.
She did, but at the
to an
same
extent.
time,
You're like, I don't want to be hurt.
There's other ways
There's
to
other
go.
ways of
about it.
saying that. It's like, look, I can direct
Wait,
you.
you were an actor. You need to feel pain. She's just like,
yeah.
like right in the face.
That's literally what she could have done.
And in this day and age, that would never fly.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to touch the casting director. The casting director is not supposed to touch you.
Yeah.
She
okay?
can't
That's-
smoke.
We're
She
talking
also-
over 25 years ago.
Yeah, she also can't smoke
They're
inside
almost
anymore.
30.
Yeah,
She
was-
can't smoke indoors.
That's not
She's-
allowed either.
Actually, almost 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
I imagine Estelle from Friends, Joey's agent.
Oh,
Do you
yes.
remember? Joey.
Yeah.
Joey.
Joey. That's exactly who
Yeah,
I'm
that's who-
imagining
that's who
as
Nat-
you're
yeah,
telling me
that's
this
who
story.
Nat is.
Come
Yeah.
here, roll up your sleeves. Okay, I'm gonna give you a neck. Do you feel that?
You wanna
Does
feel
You want to feel pain?
That's exactly
that's
what it was.
pretty
yeah.
much what it was.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but that's fantastic. And what a day, though, because look at how many
Oh,
ups and downs that happened in
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's one of the greatest stories I've ever heard. I'm like, there was highs, there was lows.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
so you
the
you
fourth-
did book Voyager.
well, it's not done yet.
Not
so
done
the
yet.
story. So
Shut
at
up.
no,
I
it
can't
gets-
handle anymore.
It gets more.
the next
It
to
gets
last
way more.
callback
What?
audition,
Yeah.
it was me and a kid from New York City, one other actor. We go into that fifth callback, whatever it was, and I walk out. I'm like, "What's up, Libby?" She's like, "The kid from New York is being sent back to New York." I said, "So I got the role?" She goes, "No." I said, "So what does this mean?"
Jeez.
She goes, "They're going to now spend 2 weeks looking for guys that are in their 30s, and they're going to whittle it down to one 30-something-year-old Asian guy, and he'll go up against you being the 20-something-year-old." I'm like, "What?" So I called my agent. I'm talking to my talent agent, and his opinion was, tell them to go screw themselves.
Yeah.
Tell them that you're not even in the running anymore, that you're done. And I said, "You know what? I've been through Indian rubber arm burn. I've been through verbal abuse, physical abuse. I've already experienced all of it. I think I'll be fine waiting for another 2 weeks." So I told him, I was like, "Fine, bring it on. Bring the 30-something-year-old dude." And so it was me and one other guy at the very end, and he was 33 and I was in my early 20s. And between the two of us, we auditioned one more time. And to be perfectly honest, I think he gave a better audition than I did, but he is half Asian, half Caucasian, basically.
Oh, so he
yeah.
wasn't even full Asian.
He wasn't
And they were
full.
looking for an Asian.
They were looking for, so I think I won out because I look more Asian.
No,
than
you
he
went
did.
out because you put in the work. You did
I-
what? 5 auditions.
And-
You got Indian burns on you. You got verbally abused. You
I
went
did.
through it.
And I couldn't imagine that role being played by somebody older, quite honestly.
No,
Because I think
yeah,
it fit
yeah.
very, very well
Yeah.
being in your 20s.
Yeah, so he was, and in fact, I knew that guy. I had actually done a film project for him. He was doing some weird film, avant-garde film thing. So I actually acted for him himself.
Oh, so you knew who he was when you walked in,
His name
too.
is Eric Steinberg. Good guy, and so he's half Korean, half Jewish, is what it was.
Okay.
So Eric Steinberg, just great actor, but didn't look like he could pull off
Sure.
looking like Ensign Kim. Like
Yeah.
he was
Sure.
like, "Oh, you're, and the character was not written as half Caucasian, half
Like, you're-
Asian. He
you-
was
they
supposed to
wanted
be
a full
100% Asian,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
But even me, and typically when I meet people, people will ask me, "Are you Filipino? Or are you Hawaiian? Do you have Caucasian blood in you?" Because I also don't look
at
100%
100%, right.
Asian as
I
so.
don't even know what Asian. I know you're Asian, but I don't know which one.
Which one? Yeah. Chinese
Got
background,
it.
yeah. So
Well, I should have known that from the Zodiac, but I did. I also, you can't like for sure.
no,
like,
we're not in this state, not
You
in
know.
California. There's
no,
all
oh,
types of
that's what.
mixes.
Yeah, that
There's so many
we know
mixes,
'cause,
yeah.
like,
We
especially
know.
we
We talk about it.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, so that finally, after that audition, I finally got the job, and I remember my agent at the time. You may be too young for this, but there was a stand-up comic named Stephen Wright back in the day,
Yeah.
and his whole bit was, he always talks like this, like he's like a
Like real
really-
dry.
yeah,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
dry, like
Yeah.
like dead energy kind of a thing.
But he was funny as
as hell,
fun.
right?
Yeah.
So that was my talent agent was that kind of that's how he spoke, exactly like Stephen Wright. And I remember I was working on All American Girl, which was a sitcom with Margaret Cho, the comedian. I was playing her boyfriend in the pilot episode when I got the page from my agent, and I ran to. I didn't have a back then. Nobody had cell phones. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no.
actually, the guy that played the father in the sitcom, he had a phone in his trailer. I said, Clyde Kasatsu. I said, "Hey, any way I can use your phone? I got to talk to my agent." He's like, "Yeah, come on." So I call my agent up, and he answers, and I'm like, what happened?"
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Well, you got it." I said, I got the job. Yeah, he goes, "You got it." That's how he says it. I said, I got Voyager. Yeah. I was like, "Are you messing with me? Is this a joke?" He was like, "Why would I be joking?" Because you don't sound excited at all
Yeah,
for
you
me to
should be
book this.
cheering. What are
Yeah,
you
should be
doing?
cheering. And he
Right.
goes, "I'm very excited," like that. And that's how he said. He goes, "I'm very excited," like that. I said, "Oh my God." He goes, you need to get to Paramount Studios by the end of the day for your wardrobe fitting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I said, well, I'm still working on All American Girl. She's like, I'm aware of that, but when you're wrapped there, you need to go to Paramount. So Warner Brothers, Valley,
Yeah.
Paramount Studios, Hollywood.
Yep.
Now
and
everyone
over the
knows.
hill.
Oh,
Yeah.
if you live in LA,
Oh, you know.
everyone knows
That's a pain in the ass.
that's a haul to get over there.
It really
so,
is. And you're talking about like not even 4 miles.
Yeah, and it
but
was during rush hour.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you could
there's
probably
no
walk.
way.
You could probably walk.
You
faster.
probably could have walked there.
Couldn't walk faster. Yeah, I
exaggerating.
should have walked there, but I was
Yeah,
rushing. I was rushing my ass over there. I was like, okay, I got to get there. And I pull up to the front, the guard gate, and the security guard that was there. Because I'd been there for so many callback auditions,
Yeah.
I became friends with the one
He
security.
knew you at that
He knew
point.
me. And I actually had a bet with him. We had a bet on it was a case of beer, and that I said I'm not going to get this job. I mean, I've had all these callbacks. They haven't selected.
But
me.
he had all the faith.
And he
in
was
you.
like, no, dude, I know you're going to get this.
Wait,
I
and
bet
he
that
probably
you
had
get
the inside scoop too.
it. No,
No.
as a security guard, he
Security
doesn't
guard doesn't know
that.
anything
No.
about
I know, but he manifested it.
Maybe
right?
he did.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He believed in you.
I pulled
Yeah.
up, and as I pull up, he's like, you got it, didn't you? I was like, yes, I got it. He's like, I told you so. I said, I'm late for the fitting. Where do I go? He's like, park in the blue tank. It's pretty full, but you'll find a space. Just drive around. So I'm like, okay. So I got in there, and I'm driving around. And I can't find anything. The blue tank is this recessed tank that they fill up with water sometimes. Like when they filled Waterworld sequences,
yeah.
they were in that tank, that area, the blue parking lot. But no spaces, and I'm now getting nervous. So I'm speeding now, just trying to find a space. And as I come around this one corner, this
almost kills my hero.
this dude walks between the two cars in front of me, and I slam on the brakes. All I see is he's wearing a suit. That's all I know. And I'm within 6 inches of taking this guy out. I'm like, my heart's beating, and then I come up from his suit up to his face, and he's staring at me, and I'm like, it's Harrison Ford. I'm like,
my God.
I almost killed Harrison Ford, and I'm a massive Star Trek fan. I mean, Star Wars fan as
But
well.
you
So Han
almost
Solo,
killed him.
Indiana Jones. I love Indiana Jones. I love Han Solo. So I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm also a big Indiana Jones fan, and I was like, oh my God.
Garrett and I would
looked at
not
him-
be friends today.
If he hit him, you'd be out.
Yeah.
Killed.
So
No,
He
that's
would have been Poor
He would've
Garrett
been-
would have been known for something else at
Oh
that
yeah,
point.
yeah. It was
yeah.
like
Who killed
stupid,
Harrison
yeah,
Ford?
stupid Star Trek actor either maimed or killed Harrison Ford. Yeah.
Harrison Ford
Yeah.
with his car.
In a wheelchair for the rest of his life because of
Yes.
my stupidity.
But you didn't.
I did not.
No.
And I remember when I locked eyes with him, I was like, so sorry. And he was like, it's okay. Like he mouthed, it's okay. And the
okay,
next
it's
day,
okay.
the issue of Daily Variety or Hollywood Reporter, on the front page, it was Harrison Ford at Paramount Studios for the premiere of Tom Clancy's Clear and Present Danger. So it was for that movie that he was there for the premiere. And he was wearing the suit with all the big wigs of Paramount Studios. And it could have easily said Harrison Ford in the hospital, legs broken because of stupid, or Harrison Ford died because he was run over by stupid Star Trek actor.
But it
on his
didn't
way
say
to-
that,
No, it
right?
didn't. So
No. He said Harrison Ford got a role.
I almost
know.
became the most hated man in the sci-fi universe. Think about
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
To take out Han
Yes.
Solo. Oh,
Like I said,
no.
we
But
wouldn't be
instead,
friends
you
today.
wound up being
I-
one of the most beautiful people
I am.
named by people.
You're bringing up my credits now.
That's right.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not.
I was going to bring that up regardless.
That's my
Yeah,
favorite part.
This is the funny thing. After that was 1997. Yeah. So the next year,
Wait, though. Pause, though.
Yeah.
Let's say what it was. So
it was People Magazine's 50 Most Beautiful People, which is
That's pretty
when
impressive.
when it comes to actors trying to get press, that's one of the big ones.
That's
Like, if
a
you can
big
get in
one.
that one,
Yeah.
that's huge. And honestly, it wasn't even I was the only other actor to hire a publicist other than Kate Mulgrew. So the captain, she paid. So we had a show publicist that everyone used
For sure.
and then Kate paid money for a separate publicist, and I did too.
Okay.
But nobody was interested in the young, operations officer. It was all about the first female captain. So
For sure.
So I was getting stuff like, oh yeah, WKXM in Lincoln, Nebraska would love to interview you on the morning show. So their 6 a.m. is your 4 a.m. So we need you up at 3:30 to call in. Is that cool? So that's what I would get.
Yeah.
And she would get Tonight Show. She would get Entertainment Weekly. So she
Right.
got all the
She got
best
the bigger
stuff.
ones.
And
Right.
so after paying countless of thousands of dollars to these publicists, I went through 5 of them. I finally fired the last one. And after I fired that last one, 2 weeks later, People Magazine would like to. I said, what? Did my publicist set this up? They're like, we don't even know who that is. So it wasn't through them.
Yeah.
It was because I was at a convention in Denver, Colorado, on stage at a Star Trek convention, talking on stage. And it was one of those magical moments where everything went well. Even things that were wrong still went well, right? Everything turned up roses. And it was someone sitting in that audience that saw me, that knew someone at People Magazine, and said, like,
that's all it takes, man.
This is who you need to
That's
have.
what
I
it
can't even
takes,
breathe
dude.
right now.
That's
Like,
insane.
you have all these these
was-
cool things that.
It was insane.
What number were you?
Well, I was right in the middle of the. They don't number it. They just.
They don't.
Yeah,
they
don't.
don't.
They just have them.
Oh, I thought
throughout.
it was like a ranking.
No, it's not.
No.
There's no number there. You're just. But I was in the middle of the magazine. On one side, on the other side of the page was. Oh God, what is her name? Who's the Stand By Me? The chubby kid that now is.
Rebecca Romaine.
Rebecca, yes, Rebecca Romaine was in the other side.
Wait, Rebecca remains Stamos?
Stamos, yeah.
Now?
Stamos,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, she's not
Okay.
Stamos. She's now
Stamos
married
is
to Jerry
gone.
O'Connell.
O'Connell,
She's
yeah.
Jerry O'Connell was her
O'Connell.
husband,
Yeah.
yeah. And interestingly enough, Jerry O'Connell does a voice on Star Trek Lower Decks, and then Rebecca Romaine has a role on Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Oh,
actually.
right.
So,
Oh my gosh.
so it's like
those
a
are the-
really weird, yeah.
These are the newer series of,
the newer
of
series
Star
that are
Trek.
Star Trek
That's-
out.
that's-
Oh, those are the newer ones.
yeah, the stuff that's out more recent.
Yeah, so I remember, just getting on that, and that was huge. And I had spent all that money on a publicist, and none of that
And
helped.
it's
Yeah.
all
It was
about.
all about
It's like-
just being at the right place at the right time.
It's all. It's the way it always is, man.
Yeah, and it was
Same.
again one of those con appearances where the next person up was Armin Shimmerman from
Oh,
Deep Space Nine.
yeah.
And when I was walking off stage, Armin was sitting there in a chair right off stage, and I said, "Armin, what are you doing here?" He goes, Garrett, it's really weird. Usually at these conventions, I come down right before I'm supposed to speak. I don't really come early, but today I decided to come down and just sit backstage and watch your whole, Q&A, and I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that, kid. You rocked it. I mean, he gave me the
Nice.
Oh
hugest
my
compliment. He was
gosh.
like, I don't know
Nice.
what you had the audience with you and everything. And again,
Yeah.
me, and it started with things like I didn't zip up my zipper. So my girlfriend at the time, the first 10 minutes, she was at the bottom of the stage trying to like get my attention, like zip up your
I know,
zipper,
but
right?
Like, honestly,
like
how do you even get?
Yeah.
Because even to say it, but then like not. So it's like.
totally. So I decided to,
You're
and
just
here's
all, "Yeah."
and here's a
I
tip.
know. Then you have to do it while you're sitting down.
But here's a tip. You always, anytime something happens to you where you're speaking on stage live,
Mm-hmm.
talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, for the first 15 minutes of my Q&A, my fly has been
Mm-hmm.
down. So I said that to
Always,
everybody.
always,
and they were
always.
cracking up. I was like, thank you to my girlfriend for waving her arms for the first 15 minutes. She's got her cardio in clearly. Let me turn around for a second. And I zipped up and then
I'll
came
be
right back.
right
I'll be
back.
right back.
Always
So
better
it
to
never,
make fun of yourself
yeah,
instead
because
of being like, "Oh my
no,
god."
because the first reaction is like, holy crap, your ears turn red, you're
Uh-huh.
embarrassed, your face is turning
Yep.
red because you've just effed up,
Yep.
right? But if you take your F up and make it into
Break that ice, man.
Well, you owned it. You
I
took it
owned
and you
it.
owned it. You,
Always,
what do they
always,
call that?
always own
You
it.
steer into the skid.
Yeah.
Go with
Yes,
it.
Always.
exactly what happened, and because of that onstage Q&A, somebody was in that audience that knew somebody people, and that helped me immensely to get in that.
And I
no,
wish,
at that point, no other Star Trek actor had ever been.
You were
part of
the
that.
ol-
Well,
you were the
only one
first?
person, Patrick Stewart. So Patrick
okay.
Stewart was in it,
I
and
mean,
then
he's-
me.
Wow.
No one else.
Yeah, he. I mean, he was a good.
Oh
Yeah.
God! So it was like
be
it was
honest,
a
good-looking man.
huge it was a huge thing.
That's
to
a
get
big
on
deal.
that. I mean,
That's a big
massive.
deal.
Yeah, but people confuse it. They're like, "You were in people's 50 most sexiest." I go, "No, it's 50 most beautiful people."
I
not
was the most
sexiest."
beautiful, not sexiest.
So we did
There's a
two.
difference.
I did 2 photo shoots for that. The first one was with one photographer, and I got to choose the clothes, and it was cool. But they didn't like his work.
pictures?
No, so they put me with another guy, and he chose my clothes. And I'm like, "You are not gonna." He's like, "Oh, I think that you would look good in this." I'm like, so what I end up wearing is these silver pants that are so tight.
Wait, time out. Silver pants.
He put me in silver pants, and I'm wearing so the shot is from above, so you see me sitting on a stool with these silver pants, which is completely showing every bulge, everything, right? And my mom, when it comes out, my mom calls me. She goes, "Are those your clothes?" I'm like, I said, "No, Mom.
Mom, no.
These are not my clothes." She goes, "Thank goodness, because I don't approve of those clothes at all because it looked like
man.
I was ready to go to a night out
You
in
were
West
going
Hollywood.
out.
I'm like, I'm gonna party, and I'm gonna. It was
Yes.
just. But again, it was showing the package. It was showing It was like no. It
And
was too
silver, what a
and it was-
choice.
and it was way too tight. It was probably 5 sizes too small.
I found the picture.
Of
yeah.
him in
I
the silver
have it.
pants? No way.
Yes, I
She has
do.
it. She has it.
I
so.
do.
Oh,
There
you're
you
gonna
go.
have to send that to me so I can post it on right
Okay.
here, right
You
now,
can do
so
it.
everybody can see it right now.
Okay.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The,
The
whole
pants
outfit.
are questionable, but they're
Yeah.
not bad. I didn't. There's silver, but there's a
Yeah.
design on them. You have a patterned shirt and patterned pants.
I know.
The
I know.
pants
and
almost
actually,
look
my
like they
mom
have
didn't say, "Are
moons."
those your clothes?" She goes, "Are those your pants?" That's what she said. She didn't ask about clothes.
I was gonna say the shirt's fine.
I was like, "Mom, that was from a stylist, and it was the director of the actual photographer that made me wear that one." He pointed out
he
these are
forced me to do it.
He forced me to wear pants that were too tight for me,
They were
Mom.
too tight, Bobby.
If
So-
you really look at the pants,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like really look at them,
There's, like,
they look
raindrop
like,
pattern on
Yes,
them.
Yeah,
that's
there's a
exactly
pattern
what
on
I was
them.
gonna
I know.
say.
I know.
He's like, I know. I've looked at it. Is it hanging in your house? I would have
No.
that framed.
Are you
What?
kidding me? No.
Do you still have those pants?
You? he didn't get
The
to keep
stylist.
them.
I didn't get to
I
keep
know.
it.
I
I
No.
bet you if we
But-
went to Aardvarks, we could find
You
them.
could, yeah, probably.
But if you were in Time Magazine, you wouldn't want that on your wall.
I
Like,
wouldn't want. No.
if
Why
I
am
bring
gonna-
you a signed
you-
picture, will you sign it for me?
Sure, I'll do that for you. But for me to have my 50 most beautiful people photo hanging up framed in my house, I think that's a little vain.
You're
I
such
don't-
a
I don't-
I think
monkey.
that's a
It's
lot-
not too
I think
vain.
it's a lot vain.
No, it's not.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But
Whatever. My
Maybe-
dragon
maybe a
energy.
dragon would do
No,
that.
You do
my
have a
dragon
monkey.
energy says different because I would put that. My whole wallpaper would be that.
See, that's what I'm saying. You would
You do
wallpaper
have a
your
copy
house.
of that somewhere, though.
Yes, of
Okay,
course. My
yeah.
parents have like.
Okay.
I was
500
gonna
copies.
say
Yeah.
I've that was my child. I would have bought every single magazine
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, absolutely. You know, I couldn't imagine Garrett
Ugh.
having that. It's like not only in his house, it's like above his bed.
No.
Oh, for sure. Like on the
Yeah,
ceiling,
like
so
one
he
of
looks
those
at it when he's going to
6-foot
sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be like a 6-foot oil painting
Vainest
of it.
person I know.
No, he's not. He's very
Like oil
humble.
painting.
I know he is. He's
It's
really
like
good.
right
Yeah.
in the foyer.
That's why we're friends.
In the
I
foyer.
know. I can see why.
That's
They're,
why-
but that week was crazy because people called, and then 2 days later,
Wait.
Entertainment
The
People
stories
Magazine.
keep going.
Yes, it could keep
Wow.
Dude, if you
People
know
Magazine
Garrett,
call.
Garrett's stories always keep going.
I'm knowing about Garrett now.
Then Entertainment
I love it.
Channel called,
Yeah.
and this is very early in their their life
Yeah,
as a
E would-
station.
it
you know,
barely
as a
started in the
network.
90s.
Yes, but they called me up and said, "Hey, we've selected you for a segment that we need to film some stuff with you, and it's called E's 20 Coolest Bachelors."
Oh.
Wow.
Well, wait
And
a
again,
second.
I said, did you-
We went from 50 most beautiful people
to 20 coolest
to the
bachelors.
20
coolest.
coolest. So you're
Coolest.
beautiful
And-
and cool.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
not just 20
but-
bachelors, but 20
No, coolest.
But I have
That's the
to-
important part.
That's
That
right.
was numbered. That one was numbered,
Oh.
and I was not
were
near
you?
the top. No.
What
It
number
went-
were you?
Well, I'll say this: Don Johnson was number 18,
Oh.
and I was 19. So I was one before the very end. So
So let's
But
hold
you
on a
made
second
the
there.
list.
Let's
I made
hold
the
on a
list.
That's all
second
that
there.
matters.
How many actors were there in the 90s that got selected for this list? 20.
Only 20.
20.
coolest bachelors.
And he's
So,
complaining because he
to
was
be-
number 19.
Yeah.
I was.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
pretty impressed
that?
by that. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty fucking cool.
So I said, what segment do you want me to film? And they said, well, we're going to come to your house. And at the time, I had purchased a house in Hollywood Hills, but it was still being remodeled, so it wasn't ready to go.
Sure.
So I was still living in this small, tight little, condo in Westwood. And they said, we want to come to your kitchen and watch you make dinner for your date. I'm like, okay. So I said, I don't really cook that much.
I was going to
but
say
I'm
on a
gonna-
date too. Like
Yeah.
you would take her out.
I take her out, exactly. So they came and I cooked the one dish that I knew how to cook, and I had them film that, but it wasn't at my condo. I used Robert Beltran's house. He had a nice house in Los Feliz, so I used his
Okay.
kitchen.
Well, that's
Smart.
cool.
That was smart.
Yeah, so I
Smart.
did that.
Wait,
So-
what'd you cook?
Oh, good question.
Yes. So the dish is basically It's what do you call the pasta that's in the spirally kind of rotelli?
The spirally
Rotelli,
pasta.
yeah.
Rotella
Rotella,
pasta. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's Rotella pasta, but
Spirally
it's with
I would call it
it's
spirally.
with it's with chicken breast and sun-dried tomato and pesto sauce. And the thing is, you make it and you don't eat it warm. You put it in the fridge overnight and you eat it cold the next day.
Okay.
And this was a dish that a girlfriend made for me once, and it was amazing. And I thought, oh my God, I could eat this meal for every meal for the rest of my life. It's one of those kind of
Sure.
hearty dishes.
Yeah.
So I made that for E! Channel, which was cool. But the funny thing about 50 Most Beautiful People, after 1997, every year afterwards, the makeup artists at Star Trek would make fun of me. I'd walk in and they'd say, Garrett, we're sorry to tell you, but you're 175 this year. So you didn't make the 50 most beautiful, but you've dropped down to 175. Each year after, they would add more numbers to it. Yeah, they're like, I'm so sorry, you're 746 this year. They kept adding more. And more.
You did earn that.
You did earn it. For,
yeah.
So they were messing with me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good banter to have, though.
Well, that's just fun. It's just fun.
Fun. Yeah, fun-hearted people. You got to have people like that in your life, especially if you're a makeup artist. People that you see right before you start shooting.
Every day,
yeah, exactly.
There was a makeup artist there. He was not a regular one. He was a day checker, so he would show up every now and then. He did a really great George Takei impersonation as well.
Was it as good as yours?
Well, this is how he did it. He said he pretended to be George while George was filming. He was talking about filming original Star Trek, and he said, he goes, I remember the time after we were filming a long day of the original series episode. I invited Bill and I invited Leonard to my trailer. We had a bottle of wine, which led to another bottle of wine, and then we had a three-way. So. Oh my. Yeah, so it was all about him doing this whole bit about
that's funny.
Him, Spock, and Kirk getting drunk on wine and having a menage a trois. So
that's
this is
awesome.
what this
Pretty
makeup
funny.
artist did, and he had me on the floor in stitches. I was like, oh, that's so good.
That's so good. Yeah.
It's like I've been practicing because I knew I was coming to Star Trek. So,
oh my God.
how long did Voyager film for?
7 years.
So you 7, and when as an actor, you are you kind of wanting something more like that's more consistent, or do you want more movies, or does it not matter at all?
It doesn't matter at all, but back in the day, in the 90s, they would say there is no sure thing in Hollywood, but if there is a sure thing, it's Star Trek, because it's very rare
Because
that a
it's gonna
show
keep
lasts
going.
for 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Most shows are lucky if their pilot episode even gets picked up for an order of 1 season.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
There's so many pilot shows.
we talked about it earlier, like Firefly.
But I was
oh my
gonna
God,
say,
like Firefly did 1 season.
One
but
season.
Tim Russ, who played our Vulcan on our show, his sister told me before Voyager, Tim had filmed 20-some odd pilots where he was a series regular that never got picked up.
20?
Yeah.
Over 20.
That happens so regularly.
Yeah,
though.
but to imagine as an actor, you're thinking, all right, I got it made. I can buy a house now finally.
Sure.
And then the networks say, we'll
Nope.
pass.
Nope.
So they
man.
passed 20-some odd times before he got his audition for Voyager.
But good
That's
that
nuts.
he kept going.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Right? Because
I mean-
don't you get discouraged after a while? Or
You do.
Well, you got a lot
You
have a lot of people that were actors or attempting to become actors, and then they just quit, and then they don't know what could have been, right?
Yeah.
But there's also the actors that don't give themselves a time frame to succeed, and I feel like those are the ones that, I mean, I hate to say it, but will work other jobs forever because they don't have that. You gave yourself some time. You gave yourself a
did.
time frame.
Okay, but
Before
is it
you
like
became an actor.
It can't be like a 6-month time frame, right?
No.
It's
You
gotta
give yourself
be-
a few years.
I'm going to say a lot of people who came out in the 90s from, and it's the same story. It would be some small town in Iowa or wherever, just fill in the blank, Michigan.
Whatever.
And they were the big fish in the tiny pond.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right.
You're the homecoming king, or you're the homecoming queen.
Right.
You're the best looking couple in this entire school.
Yeah,
you,
in the whole
you
place.
guaranteed will
Oh,
make it
yeah.
in Hollywood.
You will.
And guess what?
100%.
They all come out to Hollywood. And once you get to LA in the 90s, you throw a rock, you're going to hit someone who is the head cheerleader or the homecoming, the
It's
captain
a
of the football team.
big pond
It's a
now.
big lake.
You're
is what
talking
it is.
about
It's an ocean.
It's the
It's an
whole
ocean.
Pacific.
It's
yeah.
the ocean, yeah.
Along these lines, okay, talking about how it was getting onto Voyager. Okay, you had these 2 movies already lined up. Glory Days.
Glory Days and
then
Mortal
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So
Finish him.
So with that, is there any part of you that was like, damn, I really should have just done that movie? Or do you feel like Voyager was the right way to go?
Or do you keep yourself up at night thinking about this?
Here's the thing. In the 90s, there was this misconception that feature film actors were better than television actors. Okay?
I think it still persists
Well,
today.
it's still there, but here's the difference.
Not all the way, because
No.
I see a lot more stars coming to
Coming to
TV.
television
Yeah.
now.
Sure,
It's-
sure,
it's
sure.
changed, but here's the difference. When you're filming a feature film, and I'm talking about a studio feature film, like a big budget
Sure.
feature film, they will film anywhere from honestly 1/4 of a page of the script to 1 page maximum in 1 day. Okay,
Right.
so that means every scene. Ben Affleck can do. The director will have him do it 170 different ways,
Easily.
and from that they pick out the best one.
best one.
So
Always,
now it looks
yeah.
like he's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
For sure.
Television, you get 1, 2, maybe 3 shots at it. It's usually 1 or 2, and then you move on.
Because you have such a short time frame.
Yeah, and we have no rehearsal. Feature
Right.
films, the director's like, we're
For
gonna,
sure.
we're gonna rehearse in my trailer right now, guys. Come on in. We're gonna do this.
Yeah,
So-
and that's way harder. It's because you're on the spot, and so if you get
You
it,
ha-
and you don't want to be the odd one out that like doesn't get it right.
Yes. And so television is such a faster format.
Right.
So that's, so it always made me mad when people said like, well, do you wish that you could have done feature films? And I'm like, listen, I had booked 2 feature films before I booked Voyager,
Yeah.
actually.
Right.
I was on the path of being a feature film actor, not a television actor.
Right.
so crazy
But
that in the
but
same
that
day,
perception
though.
was always there.
It's always
and
there.
It's bizarre
yeah.
to me.
And
but
it made me angry. I
That,
was
but
like,
but I
thank you.
kind of disagree because I'm a little bit younger than you guys, and to me it was
Perfect.
stop moving the things. I can hear it.
I
No,
know.
but I'm like, to me when I was growing up, like I was watching like YouTubers, right? So
Yeah.
like so then there was a shift in that direction. So
Yeah.
it was like it went TV, then feature films, and then it turned to like internet celebrities.
Yeah.
In that sense, but
Well, starting with your generation
Wow.
on,
Uh-huh.
from your generation on, there's more awareness of YouTube stars than television or film stars. I
Right.
would say.
Probably. Well,
Yeah.
to me
Easily.
though, because that was my like I would watch YouTube, like that was my thing.
Yeah.
I can't concentrate.
I
'cause
know.
you
I'm
guys
sorry.
are-
I was moving it over because it was like falling that way, and then
Yeah.
he pushed it that way. Then it started bonging.
Yeah, bong.
Bing bang
Bong,
bong.
bing bang bong. It's okay. I want to do
Bing
it too.
bong.
Hello. Everyone rattle their.
Everyone
cords,
rattle
their
your
cables.
cords.
Yay.
So I guess in the long run, you would say that you're happier that you went with the Voyager route.
I am to
I'm
some
happier
extent.
that you did.
But you don't get to choose.
But now I
mean-
want to go see this movie
It's
Glory
Garrett's
Days
too.
and be like, oh, they should have.
Yeah. Wait. Who replaced you in Glory Days then?
My friend Vin, he's this Vietnamese actor, and he's a great guy, but he's not.
He didn't
that
pull
he's
off.
not
He didn't pull it
you.
off like
He's
you would
not
have
Garrett.
done. Yeah.
He didn't flip off the director like I did in the
Of course
callback
not.
audition.
The
No,
director
no.
hugged you and said, "I
I
love you,
man. No, I was
Like,
the ideal. And
you
so
were
the
it.
co-lead in this movie, the 5 guys living in the house together,
Mm-hmm.
basically, it was Ben Affleck, it was me, it was French Stewart from Third Rock from the Sun, it was Sam Rockwell, okay,
Really?
yes, and then the 5th person was a buddy of the director. And,
Okay.
yeah, he was actually this African American.
He's like, "I'm just
who
the
was
friend."
actually no, he actually lived in the house, so they cast him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
He was
it
able to pull the part off. So I'm assuming.
so,
yeah.
But again, I mean, that lineup. This is an unknown Ben Affleck. No one knew who he was at this point. Okay. There was also in minor roles. There's a role on a bus of 2 boyfriend and girlfriend. It was a barely known Brendan Fraser on the bus. Okay. And then there's a scene in a used car lot. It was a completely unknown Matthew McConaughey that was in a 5-minute scene. Oh yes. And then the
We're watching
best
this movie.
role.
I
the
know we need to
best
watch
role,
this.
There is a character in the film that all of the guys in the house make fun of, and we call him the baiter, because if you extend that,
Yeah,
Yes,
I got
yes,
it. I
yes,
got it.
yes.
We
he's
follow.
the one college guy that spends almost every waking hour pleasuring himself,
Got it.
basically, right?
Yeah.
And so that character we make fun of, we laugh at. He has no lines in the movie. That was played by Matt Damon. So An unknown
Shut
Matt
the hell-
Damon. We
It makes
laugh
sense.
at
I
his
think we
ass. We're
talked
like,
about this.
Matt
I think
There's
we
the
talked
Vader.
about this
Yeah.
in the last episode. Lightning in a bottle.
So this is all before
Oh,
Goodwill.
yeah.
This is before Goodwill Hunting, guys.
Yeah,
so
this
this
is-
was
Yeah.
this is
early,
the pre-
early. Oh yeah, and I remember I went to a table read
Wait a
and
second.
a rehearsal.
Wait. Matt
with-
Damon played a guy who could not stop,
Yeah.
doing the deed.
choking the chicken. Yes.
I've never heard him. Like, I've just never. I had no idea that.
Unbelievable.
I had no idea.
That's great.
We have to watch this movie.
But I remember.
That's our next one for a random.
Yes.
There you
one.
go. We had one table read, all of us together. Not Matt Damon because he had no lines, but it was Ben Affleck, myself, Sam Rockwell, and
It's
the
just in
guys.
parens what he's doing.
And during this reading, I just booked the role on Trek, right? And
Yeah.
so I told the guys, and I remember Sam Rockwell, Ben Affleck, French Stewart, all of them were like, that is so cool. We want to come down to the set and visit you when you're doing this. This is awesome. Congratulations. So they were all high-fiving me about this job because honestly, I was supposed to be able to do both of them. I was supposed to
Yes.
film
Right.
the pilot
Right.
episode
Right.
and then film the movie with Ben and French Stewart and Sam Rockwell. And then that didn't happen. And it was like, oh, when I had to drop out of that movie, I was so bummed because I feel like that was one path that I was doing both. I was able to get the films, right, and the TV show, so I would be able to prove
That
people
would have been
wrong.
pretty cool.
I'm an actor that can dabble in both sides.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah. No,
this
that would
part
have
of the
been
world
ideal.
and this, but yes,
It's all right.
and to this day,
That's
I
just
wonder.
not the way it folded out, man.
Yeah, but at the same
Yeah, but that's one of
time, I
those
sit
things
there
you're
and I
always
think,
you're always going to.
Yeah.
But we all have those V's in life where
We
it's
do,
like it's
we
left or
do,
right,
we
and
do.
you.
I think you
have to
chose.
have
I
your-
think you made the right choice.
Well, the advantage with the Trek choice or the Trek journey is
Sure.
that Star Trek, even though, and this is a crazy thing, I did not know this until Armin Shimmerman told me this, but Patrick Stewart, when he booked Star Trek Next Generation, his talent agent was not American. He was British.
Oh.
And he didn't know what the going
didn't
he did
know?
not know what the going rate for series regular was.
Oh.
So they lowballed Patrick Stewart
Oh,
as
you're
the captain.
kidding.
So he was getting, I don't know,
So he
8
was
or
getting
9,000 an
probably
episode. I mean, really low.
Holy
and because of that,
cow.
every successive show after, they lowballed everybody. So
Oh, you're
we
kidding.
made, whereas I would say every other series regular on every other show was making 4 to 5 times what I was making. Okay. And in my entire season, my entire final season of seventh season of Voyager, if you added up all my paychecks for all 26 episodes, it was less than one episode of what the Friends made. That one, so
Oh, when they
Like on
went up-
Friends.
yeah, their final season they made $1 million.
$1 million
episode.
an
I made
episode.
less than $1 million for the
Holy-
entire season
because of one British dude.
One British talent agent.
Thanks
that
a lot,
screwed
dude.
it all. I know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Cheerio.
Thanks, man.
Cheerio.
Thank
Pip,
you,
pip, and
Governor.
all
Pip,
that.
pip, Governor. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was horrible.
You know what we have to say to that? Double middle finger.
Yeah, double middle finger. 21.
21.
The good thing is
21.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna not do that
Yeah,
in my
yeah, to
life. Like
everybody.
that's
21.
21.
So you're saying, come on, ask me what the drinking age is.
Yeah. But
21.
Well,
Okay.
I'm upset. I'm not a bartender anymore.
know.
Like, how old are you? And then I can be 21.
But the positive thing is, even having this horrible, horrible paycheck, is that after the show, the passive income, which is Star Trek conventions, Comic-Cons, like there is no Friends convention.
Yeah,
You know what
no,
I'm saying?
for sure.
There's
Like
no- that
the
doesn't exist.
fandom
No.
that exists
No.
within
No.
Star Trek
So
is huge.
when
Do
it-
you get
yes.
residuals or
Yeah, that's what I was
royalties
just
from
gonna
any of
ask,
this?
yeah.
Yes, there were residuals and royalties from Star
Okay.
Trek. In the beginning, they were big, and as the further out you go, the more years
They
between
trickle down, right?
They get smaller and
Now-
smaller. Otherwise, the Brady Bunch actors would be billionaires, right?
Yeah, they
They'd
would
have
be.
so
Now
much
here's
money.
the question. This whole the strike that happened with Netflix and all that. Does that would eventually would benefit you, correct? Because of
Yeah.
all the BS that
Yeah,
Netflix
you
and
would get
Amazon will
streaming
try to pull to you
platforms
guys.
you would get no residual payments
Correct.
for that
Yeah.
at all.
That's
So,
insane.
Isn't it?
it's
That's
bad.
Absolutely
Zero?
nuts. They're like
Nothing?
Zero.
thanks for the content, and you get zero.
I mean,
Right.
we're one to talk because we work for free, but still, like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He deserves the royalties
No,
he
absolutely.
earned for every
But
single
the-
episode that he did.
Yeah.
but I had no idea that they paid zero
That's
for
what
streaming.
that's what the argument was
Nothing.
with these
Yeah.
streaming services.
Nothing.
Oh,
at all.
wait, I knew it was that plus AI though, right? That
AI was
AI
part of
was
it.
hanging out.
That's part of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, if you if you calculate the years after, like I can still, even now, the show ended in we started in 95, so next year is our 30th anniversary of the beginning of Star Trek Voyager, which is crazy.
God.
So in this entire time, I can't even count the number of conventions I've appeared at, which is amazing passive income to be able to go
For
someplace
sure.
for the weekend
And you get to
sign some
travel.
autographs, and you get to travel.
You get to meet fun
exactly.
people.
Yeah,
You
get
and
to
it's
write
not
off
just
that
Does it
travel.
get daunting?
Yes.
Because
Not
you
just
get to write it
the
off.
US.
There it is.
It's not just the U.S. It's Europe. I get to go to Europe. I get to go to Australia. I get to go to all over the place to
Yeah.
do conventions.
Right.
So that's something that is a blessing, right? So
Yeah.
So choosing Trek was smart in that regard. But if I had done the feature films, I'm just curious, like where would I? Would
Dunkin' Donut
my-
commercials?
Well,
That's
no,
what
but
you'd
my
be
co-
doing.
or I would be John Cho. I would be John Cho. John
Sure.
Cho is doing all
mean,
he
yeah.
does is
Maybe,
feature
but you
films.
don't know. But
You
you don't. But I mean, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are doing Dunkin' Donut commercials, so like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can't dwell on the past. Also,
No, you
like
can't.
you had an opportunity.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the scheduling went that way. But I
Yes.
think because of how that whole story played out, like I think that was part of like, you know what they always say about fate. It's like
That
fate
was the
will-
Garrett Wang journey. It
but
really was.
But
Yeah.
fate only brings you so far. Like
Yeah.
you're the one.
Yeah.
You saw him in the phone booth, got out of the phone booth. You
Yeah.
could have sat there on the phone with your agent and just
Yeah.
said, "There's a director walking by," but you said, "Gotta go." Hung up, saw him, met with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
But-
you created the thing that spiraled in because I think it was supposed to happen that way.
Yeah, you could look at that.
Sure.
Or I could say I would have spent all these weeks living in the house, because that's the thing. When they're filming that movie
Yeah.
in Santa Cruz,
For sure.
they rented a house and the actors stayed in that house where they filmed, so they got to know each other really well.
Okay,
So I
that's
feel
you
like,
could have made
oh my
friendships with
god,
each
I
other.
think
I
I think
see.
You
I
would
would
have.
this.
You would have
I would have
never.
been super tight
That's
with
like
Ben
a
Affleck,
summer camp friendship.
Super tight with
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell.
you would
Like
not be
these-
here right now.
No, She's like,
You'd be too famous.
You would not
You'd
be
be
here.
too famous.
You're too famous to hang out with us. So I don't like
would-
that. I don't like that option. So I prefer the latter. I like
I prefer you to be not as successful.
It's
okay,
not a success
I mean,
thing. I just think like if you get to the point, like
You're right.
you're right,
I hear
right?
you. I
Thank
do.
you. Because
But
if you're
listen,
too much,
Here's the flip to that.
Yeah.
I know what Star Trek Voyager is.
Right.
I had to look up this movie that you're talking
There,
about.
That's a good point.
See, that's
there
true.
it is.
That's true.
Oh, there you go.
That's
You're
true.
like
Yeah,
a
it's a-
household name.
because
because
that's
of- yeah.
I
that's
had
also
never
what
heard
they
of
do.
that film until you told me about it. You know what I mean?
Ah.
Is like whenever I would see Ben Affleck in public, just randomly, he still remembered.
He
Even
knew
fro-
you,
he-
so you
oh,
could
yeah.
have still
So this
been
is-
best friends with Ben
I
Affleck.
know. So the last time I saw him was when
You dropped the ball.
Yeah. It was me. It was me. I should have kept my friendship going with Ben. No, I saw him. The last time I saw him was when he was dating J-Lo the first time.
The first time.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was at. I walked up to the craps table at Hard Rock Hotel,
Okay.
and he was there because he loves to gamble, and I love to gamble too. And he was there with. Oh, okay. So he was standing there with J-Lo, and I go Ben. He's like, Garrett. I'm like, what is up, man? And so I walk over to him. And he introduces me to her as if I don't know who the hell she is. Right? He's like,
hey.
oh, by the way, this is Jennifer. I'm like, yeah. I didn't say that, but I was thinking, yeah, I know.
Dude,
who-
you okay?
you
What do you?
imagine?
I've never been in a moment like that. So what do? You kind of play dumb, like, oh hi Jennifer,
I did.
great to
I
meet
was
you.
like, hello, Jennifer.
Jennifer,
And I
what?
shook
What's
her
your
hand.
last name, ma'am? Lopez. Wow.
You're like, and what do you do for a living?
I know. Are you a food delivery person, or what kind of occupation are you?
You
You
work.
invent me.
You work at the
PR?
casino?
Yeah.
Are you in PR?
Are you?
PR.
You're his publicist, aren't you?
Oh my gosh, she would have. Yeah, no, that would not.
But
be
what
good.
was great was that she was keeping tabs on his bets and everything. Like she was counting through the bankroll, and when it got to the point where he had lost a certain amount, she was like, "Nope, we're done." And he was like, "Yes, honey." I mean, it was immediate. Like, he
Oh,
was like-
yeah.
They collected their chips
Like
and they
nothing.
left.
She
And
kept
it
him in check.
Yeah, she kept him in check
That's
all
good,
the
man.
way.
Don't
Why do you
lose
think he always looks so miserable? That's still happening now.
I was just about to say.
Right? I mean, there's memes about this. Us women, there's 3 women in here. We know all about that because they,
God.
it's
Yeah.
it's a whole thing.
That's crazy.
No, but it was cool.
That's a whole
though,
other
you know?
What-
episode.
yeah, what she says goes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, that's that.
She's
that
Jenny
whole
from
bit.
the block.
She is Jenny from the
Jenny
block.
from the block. I don't know if I would mess with her. I wouldn't. I don't even know if I'd say hi. I'd be
Oh,
scared.
yeah.
So when he said Jennifer, like Jennifer is the
Jennifer,
full thing,
yeah,
right?
of course.
And so Jenny from the block. I should say, Jenny. I should say Jennifer from the neighborhood.
You're from the
Explain more,
neighborhood.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
That would have been perfect. I think she would have laughed at that.
Yeah,
I think she would have.
In Voyager,
hindsight.
though, was there while filming? Because if you did 7 seasons,
Yeah.
so this is I know that's a lot. So this question's gonna be real hard for you. So I'm sorry in advance. Do you have like a favorite moment that you can pinpoint, or like a favorite day of filming, or like episode that just kind of has stuck with you, or like something crazy happened? Like,
Yeah, season 5 was the 100th episode, and it was called Timeless. And
Oh, I know
remember-
this one.
Yeah, the writer producer Brandon Braga, the guy that was like, hope to see you in the second rounds. That guy, he calls me up. He's like, the next episode, it's all your character, so you better be ready. That's what he said. He goes, you better be. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So, and it's the 100th episode. We were gonna make it a 2-parter, but we're gonna make it into one single episode. And
Not
it's
like the
gonna
first
be-
episode. Yeah.
He goes, this is going to be the signature episode of our entire series. So it's all going to be
a
you.
lot of pressure.
So yeah, a lot of pressure. And I remember when I was filming the climactic moment where I figure out the right equation, and I'm like, yeah. Bob Picardo, Robert Picardo, the one that Brett, the doctor,
Hi,
the one
Rob.
that, the butt cheek guy. The butt cheek injury guy. So he played the doctor on the show. He's an emergency medical hologram. So he's a holographic doctor.
Right.
He's in that scene where I figure everything out. And the director yells, cut. And he walks over to me. He's like, Garrett, you can act.
it took you 5 seasons to figure that out.
It only took 100 episodes.
They do say though that you're at 100. That's like the number of like professional, or like that's where you hit your peak.
Yeah, and also, to side with him a little bit.
Sure.
I mean, my character is on the bridge, and so a lot of my lines are expositional lines. Like, Captain, I have an M-class planet at this, or shields are down to 30%. So they're not lines that you need to do a lot of acting for.
Yeah.
Does
Sure,
that make
sure.
sense?
Yeah.
You're just spouting
You're
expositional
being
lines.
professional.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
you're
But this
doing the shit.
episode, it was all my character,
Yeah.
and LeVar Burton directed. So LeVar from Next Generation.
Did he really?
Reading Rainbow, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He directed that episode. And
Wait, reading Rainbow?
Reading Rainbow?
The
Before
guy
your
that does
time.
Reading Rainbow.
What do you mean? But I know all about Reading Rainbow.
Of course you saw
Reading Rainbow.
Yeah,
Of
but
course
he
I
was,
know that.
He's like, you don't remember him in
He
you know,
did
you didn't see
Star
Star
Trek.
I
Trek.
wasn't that. No,
No.
I don't. That I
Yeah.
did not know.
He's the
Yeah.
one that wore the banana
little
clip
banana
over
clip
his
is
eyes.
Banana
over his
clip,
eyes,
yeah.
He's the guy
Yeah.
who did the Reading Rainbow reading.
Yes.
Wow.
Now you know.
Guy.
And now you
I
know.
am going to get death threats from the Star Trek community. They're gonna be like, "You didn't know that? I didn't. I'm sorry. I do now, and I'll never."
We're
forget.
part of the LeVar Burton fan club, and we are mad at you, Brittany. Brittany.
Let him be mad. We got the views.
I didn't know, and now I know, and I'm happy about it. Sorry, continue. I don't interrupt.
You know what? That's what you need to do. You need to say stuff to insult people from like the Star Trek and Star Wars era to
Yeah.
get them to watch our stuff.
I'm not
just to
stupid.
piss them off, and all of a sudden
I-
we're gonna get freaking literal death threats. And
My
From the Death
okay,
Star.
listen though, my daughter is named after Star Trek, and I had
What?
no idea. The newer Star Trek,
Oh,
not
which-
Voyager.
what's
So
your
because her
daughter's
her
name?
name's Esri.
Oh, that's Deep Space Nine.
yeah,
Okay, well get this
Okay.
because we were at Knott's Berry Farm
Yeah.
and we were in line for a ride, and they were letting the kids on the little kid ride, and the guy behind me goes, "Okay, Ezra, you ready?" And I turned around so quick and I said, "Excuse me?
Oh my
How do you
God.
know my daughter's name?"
And it was another
he
kid.
goes, "That's my,
My
daughter's
daughter's
name.
name.
And they go, "How did you, where'd you get it?" He said to me, "Did you get it from Star Trek?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Huh?" What? And then
What
He's
is
like,
that?
never mind,
yeah,
ma'am.
and then because the middle name, I guess they gave this Esri had the first name and middle name of this character.
Yeah, yeah.
So they were like, "Oh, did you also name her after this character?" And I was like, "No, I'm sorry, I did not." No, but my grandpa told me that too. After she was born, he goes, "Oh, did you get that from Star Trek?" Because
And
my grandpa's a huge
Brit-
Star
so
Trek fan.
What did you get it from then?
I just saw it. Somebody else had it, and I
Brittany
don't know where
goes
they
to
got
County
it.
Records
Wow.
and changes her daughter's middle name.
No, she has a beautiful middle name, but I didn't name her from that, so
I know,
it wouldn't
it's
be
just
fair.
Okay,
I
so
saw it on a piece
can-
of. I
all
saw it on a. My one daughter took Taekwondo, I was pregnant. I saw a list of kids who were going to whatever.
And you saw Ezra.
And I saw the
Okay,
name.
all right. Well,
She was
let me give
named
you
after Star Trek.
She might have been. No, but she was older. I don't know.
Let me give you a little backstory. So in the series Deep Space Nine, there was a character.
Whoa.
Oh,
that was nice.
my God.
You only spilled a little
Oh my
tiny
gosh.
bit.
Yeah, look
That's it.
We got
How
that
did
on
that
camera.
happen?
Use your tongue. Use your tongue. Just.
It happens all the time.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a little backstory. Star Trek Deep Space Nine is a show that started before ours. Okay. And it had a character named Jadzia Dax. She was played by Terry Farrell. Terry Farrell left season 6, which is, they did 7 years. So after season 6 was done, she left to do a show called Becker with Ted Danson.
Oh, yeah, with
that
Ted
show?
Danson. Yeah.
So to replace that Dax character, they brought another Dax character in called Ezri Dax. So it was a different actress, and Nicole DeBoer, she's Canadian. She came in to fill that role for the final season. She and I actually became very close. We became really good friends. So my good friend is Ezri.
I'm
basically.
so happy.
Isn't that
about
crazy?
What? No, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't wait to tell her. She'll have no idea, but So there was an Ezri even like before then, or like, that was the same one, or her name was the one they brought in. Her name was Ezri.
The one, yes, that character. No, that character.
Oh, the character
was Ezri.
Yes. Okay, so that's been a character. That's like a known thing.
Yes.
I just named my daughter after that and had no idea.
That would have been in, let me think. I think 1999 is what I think.
I'm just gonna tell people I named her after that
yeah.
Ezri. The 1999 Ezri.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. So, that's where your daughter's name comes from.
Do you know the middle name?
I don't.
I don't either. She or her last name. I think maybe they give the last name as the middle name.
Really?
Yeah, because they were like Ezri Malcolmer, and I was like, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely Malcolm Moore.
I didn't say Malcolm. I said Malcolm.
This is at Knott's Berry Farm.
This is at Knott's Berry Farm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I know. And she always brings it up. She's like, remember that one time we found that other Ezri? I was like, yes, I do.
I was at it was at Disneyland, and I went with a girlfriend at the time. So I was filming Voyager at the time. We went to Disneyland, and we were in line for the Indiana Jones ride.
Oh,
and they had just opened this.
Oh, wow.
This ride, so the line was 2 hours, right?
Yeah,
Clearly,
yeah.
it was,
I remember-
and I
I
didn't have
remember that
fast.
line.
I didn't have fast pass, none of
Yeah,
that.
I remember when that opened.
Standing in line, and there's a family. It was like mom, dad, and a son and a daughter, and the daughter must have been, I don't know, 10. And she kept, after like the first half hour, she turned around and she started staring at me. Just staring at me.
No.
And then after like 40 minutes, she goes, you know what? I go, what? You look like the guy on Voyager.
Did she say it like that too?
She said it just like that with a little attitude. And I said, well, that's great, little girl, because I am the guy on Voyager. She goes, no, you're not. And I'm like, what? She's like, you look a lot like him. You could probably play his brother or something, but you're not him. And then I'm like, what? I go, little girl, I am him. She goes, guess what? I watch that show with my family every week. I know what that guy looks like. You could possibly play his cousin, maybe, but you're not him.
I can't believe
So then I start getting worked up. I was
Yes.
like, little girl, I'm going to show you my driver's license, and then you can compare my name to the credits that come on in the beginning, showing who plays the character on Voyager. And she goes, you could put your license away because you're not him. Is what she said.
She's like, I'm not gonna believe you either way.
So at this point, my girlfriend, she tugs at my shorts. She goes, stop it. And I was like,
you
what?
just stop fighting with a 10-year-old,
she's like,
please?
you are fighting with a 10-year-old girl right now, and everyone is staring at you right now. I said, because she doesn't, because
Wait,
I'm
did
trying to prove that I'm me,
And
okay? I was so mad.
To justify you, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Did the parents ever jump in? Because if they watched it every night.
That's what's so funny. They were talking with their son, they were talking with each other, and then the daughter was just like in her
on
own
her own thing. So did they ever notice that
They
it was you?
never turned around.
That is
No,
so
the parents never turned.
weird.
So the entire conversation and argument happened
I love
between me
it.
and the 10-year-old in front of me for 45 minutes. And then finally, when my girlfriend at the time said, like, this is ridiculous. You just stop talking to her. Stop it. You're going to get kicked out of the park right now. Like, you're for harassing a 10-year-old.
Yeah, that's
So,
the headline.
Yeah.
Garrett Wang
Yeah.
gets kicked out of Disneyland
That
for
would
getting
have
in
been
a
the
fight with
headline
10-year-old
after
girl.
he killed Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Harrison
He
Ford
maimed
and
Harrison Ford. He's arguing with a 10-year-old.
child.
Yeah. His child.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh man, you could have
Garrett-
such a fun time with this if you're a publicist.
Garrett Wang punches 10-year-old.
Yeah, gets in fight with 10-year-old girl, hospitalized for weeks.
It just I'm like
Because she
holding
didn't
her right
believe
now.
me.
Yeah, I'm with my license. Look at this. Look at it. It's me.
I feel like we need to reenact this and film it. That would
I'll-
just be good.
She'll be the little girl.
I'll play
then?
the
Yes.
general.
You'll be like, yeah.
Okay, I'll be mom and dad.
Yeah, you don't do anything. It's like
I'll look in this direction.
Sir, it's me. Like, looking
I know,
away.
right? Be like, ask your parents; they'll know right
yeah,
now.
your parents will
Tell
know.
them to turn
You
around.
know what? That's what I should have done.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
even think of that.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you watch it with your family?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
knew how to
guess
push
what?
your buttons, dude.
Tap your mom and dad right now.
Tell
Have
them.
them turn around. I didn't even think that.
Like,
I
let
just-
them know.
No, I was just
It would
so
have been more
offended.
fun.
Can you
to
imagine
fight
if
with
you
a
did
10-year-old.
that and then the parents are like, no, that's not you.
Yeah, they were like, clearly you're not him. Okay, we watch it with our daughter. Stop harassing our daughter.
No, it's a
okay?
full-on brawl.
Yeah, it's a brawl.
It's a brawl in the
I
line.
get beaten up by this.
The whole family.
No, this
And
should
then-
still be a bit. This should still be a bit. And
And
then
then
Their
the
last
headline
name is
reads,
Doyle.
Garrett Wang gets in fight at
Fight-
Disneyland.
Disneyland.
And then the parents see it because it'll say, you know,
Right.
Star Trek
They're like,
Voyager
"That-
actor
right.
in fight at Disneyland.
Yeah.
And then they'll see it on the paper and
Yes.
be like, oh, so it was him.
yes,
was
that's
him.
the ending to it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh well, I guess it was. Like all nonchalant too. Like, oh, that's cool.
Family
But you're
name
in.
is
Meanwhile,
Doyle.
you're in jail.
Yes, the family gets back home and they're talking. They pull in the driveway. The neighbors like on the other side of the fence, like, how was your day today? Yeah, we beat up this Harry Kim lookalike guy. Okay, this guy at Disneyland saying he was an actor on Star Trek. He kept like arguing with our daughters. We had to beat him up, basically.
It wasn't. It was. Yeah, we had to kick his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the O'Doyle family.
And then, and then the neighbors are like, oh, this guy?
Oh, it's so funny. It's not. It's hilarious that you got to fight with a 10-year-old. Like
my
I
God.
love that, and at a theme park too, which makes it,
Makes
even,
it even
better.
better.
The
Yes.
happiest
And
place on
Indiana
earth.
Jones.
Oh my
Sure as
God.
hell is.
Which was a great ride. Yes, the happiest place on earth. What a place to fight.
Well, hell
With
yeah.
a 10-year-old.
Absolutely.
Not the
Has that
happiest
ever?
place for me.
Okay, that's a good question. Like, where's the most random place you've been spotted in public
Oh my
besides
gosh.
fighting with the 10-year-old? Has anyone else come up to you or kind of stared at you awkwardly, and then you had to do that wave? Like, yeah, I'm probably who you think I am.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's not awkward, but this is a cool story. So I was at what is that sushi place that was so hip on Sunset Boulevard? Like everybody went there. You had to go up the steps in there.
I remember
Oh,
that
yeah.
place. I
Des
actually
would
went
know.
there once.
I was like, you would
know
know.
what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yes,
So,
I cannot remember for the life
All
of
right.
me
But you can
what it was
confirm
called, but
it
I
was-
know
exists.
exactly what you're talking about.
I was eating dinner with my friend Yoram Lamori, and we were eating, just me and my buddy, and across the other side of the restaurant, it was, oh my God, who played the president in 24?
Oh,
Dennis
Dennis,
Haysbert.
yeah,
Yes, it was
yeah.
Dennis Haysbert. So
Yeah.
the Allstate guy, right? So
Yeah.
Dennis Haysbert was eating with his buddy on the other side. And literally, I remember I'm eating my spicy tuna roll, and I turn over at the same time that he turns away from his conversation, and we lock eyes. And we both go like that. We both get up at the same time. We walk towards each other, and I go, Mr. President. And he goes, Ensign Kim. And we shook hands.
That is magic.
So good.
That
Oh
is
my
magic
God.
right there.
It was
That's-
beautiful.
that's so
I was
good, dude.
Oh my God.
That's so good.
Wait,
was
wait.
awesome.
Did you put cream cheese in your spicy tuna roll?
No.
It's really good.
That was a random question.
was so
That
random.
was so
I
random.
do think that would be tasty.
It's,
I
you got to
can.
add next time you get
Yeah.
a spicy tuna, add cream cheese.
But then I got to take a lactate. I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh, never mind,
So
then
it
don't do
becomes
that,
a
no.
drill. You know,
Yeah,
it's a,
never
it's-
mind.
okay.
Just do
I
one.
can just pretend I'm eating it right now.
There you go. Nom,
Okay,
nom,
I
nom.
tasted it,
There you
yeah.
go.
not the same.
Delicious.
Yeah. So that was a cool meeting.
That is cool.
I've had somebody at the airport stop me because they heard me speaking on my cell phone. They're like, I heard your voice. Because if you watch the show every year, every day, or every week for 7 years, those voices end up being as familiar to you as your family members.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Oh,
So
for
they
sure.
heard me talking on the phone, and he's like, I heard your voice. And I knew it was you immediately, and I was like looking around. I saw you. So that was a interesting, recognition thing. But it
Yeah,
wasn't
just by
recognized
voice,
by face,
too.
but
Like, that's
voice alone.
That's pretty cool.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
awesome.
that was nice. Yeah.
Did you take it? Did people like take pictures? Or like, hey, can I take a picture?
Yeah, yeah. They
Is it ever
I get that
weird,
a
or
lot.
you're ever like angry and then
never.
you're like,
No, I'm like, sure, come on up, take a picture.
Well, I guess not
'cause I
angry
know
with them. I mean, like, or if you're having a bad day, it's one of those things you kind of like suck it up and you're like,
you got to suck it up.
or
it'll be
dinner, or
No, because here's the thing. I mean, a lot of what actors don't realize is that the minute a fan walks up to you, it doesn't matter how your day is going. You need to smile, and you need to be
On.
up on
Yeah.
because that fan may have been your fan forever and loved every episode that you were in. And if you kind of are acting like a bit of a jerk or just like, look, I don't have time for that. Now that shatters their entire image of you. They're like,
oh,
wow,
for sure.
The whole
that
suit,
actor was a penis. You
the
know,
whole thought of never meet your heroes.
yes,
right.
Because of
That's
that.
what I
right?
think of, because then
So-
like people are disappointed.
Yeah,
and-
no. So I always say, fans walk up to me, even if I'm in pain from what my I don't know, if I sprained if I was in physical pain, I don't care. I'm not going to
If
show
that
them
10-year-old kid came up and kicked you in between the legs,
I might have something to say
That was
about
a straight
that.
up nut
Yeah.
shot, man.
It would have been fine
and
as
then
long
someone
as she knew
recognized
who
you,
he
like,
was.
oh,
Right, right.
Hey, Daddy, it's that lookalike guy again.
Yeah.
That guy again.
Garrett Wang
Yeah,
clone.
the clone.
It's not clone. It's not really his.
Oh,
Not
man.
really.
I can't believe you said, let me pull up my ID. Sorry,
I
I'm
did.
backtracking,
I
but it's so funny.
I did. And the way she says you put your wallet away because you're not him.
From a
she
10-year-old.
literally-
Yeah,
from a
before
10-year-old.
you even pulled it
No,
out. like,
I was reaching out and she was like, put it
She's
away.
like,
I don't
no.
even believe you. You're
Said
so
no.
full of it. I
I
was
know,
like,
but I wish I had that confidence
Oh.
just to tell
Did
off
it
a
make you
stranger like
second
that.
guess yourself for a second? Am I
You're
really
like,
him?
am I really him? Shit.
let me read my ID. Oh, I am him. Okay.
Did you second guess?
No, but you're right.
She had me going for a
Desiree,
second.
you were right. She had so much conviction that for a second I was like, maybe I am not him. I mean, it's definitely something
Yeah.
that you're like, wait a minute, why does she not believe?
Yeah,
me?
what's
Like,
going on?
What is
Is-
happening here?
What's
Like,
wrong
how
with
is
my
this-
face and my voice?
I
And
know.
do I sound different, or what's
know.
going
Am
on?
I going through puberty again? I mean, what is it? So,
It is time to change. Sorry, Brady Bunch reference
I
from
know.
about puberty.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. People get it. They like
We
it.
sing that song in our house all the time right now.
Do you?
Yeah, because Guy, every time. Little Guy.
Oh, his voice is changing.
Yep.
She has 2 boys, so
Oh.
they're going through that time.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Then
Next
go
time
ahead.
we'll go to Vegas. I think we should
For
do
part 2?
We'll do a part 2, and then
Good.
we'll go to Vegas for part 2
There you go.
because I like
No, we need
Vegas.
to go to one of his Comic-Cons.
Yes, well
Yeah.
that too, but we
That.
can't.
We
He
can't
can't
record there.
record there because he can't work
That's
while
true.
he's working. So we'd have to do a
And
separate.
it's just, if you've been to a con, they're just so fucking loud.
Yeah.
or are they
there's
super loud?
So loud.
I want to dress up. Can I
So
dress
loud.
up as you at the con?
You can.
Yeah. Yes.
You can.
We'll get you the freaking
I want the whole
Uniform.
outfit.
yeah
I'm
uniform. Yeah.
Is it what color is it?
Black and gold.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
Steelers colors,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so down. I mean,
It's simple. It's a simple costume. It's really good. Easy to find too.
Well, yeah, it's a ziggy zag. It's almost like a.
No, just straight line.
Oh, it's a straight line.
Yeah, it's a
I thought
straight
it was
line
a
right here.
zigzag.
No,
I'm
that's-
thinking of
that's
Charlie
Charlie
Brown.
Brown.
I,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, I got the wrong.
Wrong.
I got the wrong shirt.
I'm
It's funny
imagining
'cause I thought
myself.
it went to an
my
angle,
uniform
too.
is a Charlie Brown
Yeah,
zigzag.
that's exactly what he wore.
gonna wear
It was
Charlie-
yellow and black shirt.
Okay, well now I'm gonna wear. I'm gonna.
Every episode, I was like, "Da-na-na,
We'll put you in a red
I'm
shirt.
Charlie Brown. I'm gonna wear a Charlie Brown shirt, but I'm gonna tell people I'm dressed up as you from Star Trek.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll put her in a red one.
Yeah,
That's better.
No, it's not.
Fine. You get the Charlie Brown,
Okay.
Harry Kim outfit.
Thank you.
Charlie Kim. She's
Charlie
Charlie
Kim.
Kim.
They're like, who's
Charlie
that?
Kim.
Charlie Kim. Oh, you don't know. From Voyager.
Or
What?
Harry Brown.
Harry Brown.
That doesn't sound as cool.
That doesn't sound as cool.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah,
Because
that's
that,
not-
that could be Harry Brown, which is
Yeah, I
like,
don't want
what,
it.
no,
Yeah, I don't
no.
want to do
Yeah.
that.
It's not after dark time yet.
Okay, well, I'm down to wrap up, but before we do, you need to plug your stuff again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
sure,
know, because
yeah.
we got camera here, camera
Delta
here. So
flyers, yeah.
you let our 12
Yeah.
viewers know what you're up to.
I do have to say, though, before he does all this, I could literally sit here and listen to you talk for hours.
Oh,
Your
And that's-
voice
I agree.
is
That's so-
amazing.
And that's why I said earlier,
Why?
you can never be bored around Garrett, like ever, because he's got stories
After
for
stories
days
after
and
stories.
And I love his
And every
voices
single
that he
one-
does, too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
and every
guess what?
single
He has a
story is
podcast.
better than the next. They're just so good. He's just full of stories, and that's why your podcast does so well,
But-
and that's why you're such a great actor.
I was
Thank
you're
you.
a great actor and a great storyteller just overall because
Oh,
I was
for
on the edge of my
sure.
seat the entire time,
Thank
and your
you.
voices are incredible. I wish I could. I tried to do
no,
one.
no,
I
don't.
still, the George Takei is
I'm
off
not
the
doing
hook.
George Takei. I'm not doing George
I could
Takei.
do-
I was trying to.
I
What,
do
Tom?
every once in a while. Oh my!
Yeah.
my.
Other than oh my,
I was
that's
just trying
pretty
to
much it.
do any voice.
You guys
actually,
know how that started? How the Oh My started?
Yeah.
What?
He was on Howard Stern,
Yeah.
okay, as a guest, and he had just written his book, and George Takei, and in it he talks about how Shatner was horrible to him and all that, right? Shatner was mean and this. And so they took a caller. So someone calls up, and it was this woman, and she was a huge Shatner fan.
Oh, no.
And so she goes, George Takei, how dare you say anything against my hero? He is the most handsome and the most talented actor on the planet, and I love him. How dare you say anything like that to him? You're just a talentless hack. You should just go back to your own country. She said that. And then the whole time, George is listening to her. She says, go back to your own country. He goes, oh my, is all he said. He responded to her with those two words, and that is how it all began. And then Howard Stern used his soundbite.
That's a soundbite forever now.
Forever
Yeah.
he would oh my it because of what that one call-in lady.
Did he
was saying.
only say oh my, or did he like defend?
No. That's it.
That's all he said.
He didn't say anything
Smart,
else.
smart man.
But he's never been an aggressive person as far as interviews and whatnot.
He's not going to throw down with you.
No,
not at all.
no.
I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. This was fantastic. I'm so happy.
Maybe next time we can talk about the movies that remember he texted me. He's like,
I know
the movies you like.
But I'm not gonna lie to you. I've only The Princess Bride was on there, which John hasn't
That's the
seen.
only one that you have seen?
You have not seen Princess Bride?
No.
Yeah, he already got ridiculed on the internet
I
for
already
it.
got ripped apart for it.
He
yeah.
did. There's,
Chauncey, how is that possible?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Because
Chauncey, you've seen Princess Bride. You haven't either?
No.
Are you
What
guys
is
aliens?
wrong?
They're
Yeah.
aliens.
they're aliens among us. I don't know.
I've
That
never
is
seen
like a
that
cult
possible?
classic.
Okay, how you
I
guys
disagree.
are acting right
am
now is
shocked.
how I was acting when I first initially found out that he's
Yeah.
never seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one was on the list. I could have done that one, and then I could have done original Star Wars, but I don't think anyone cares what I have to say about
Okay.
Star Wars. So
All right.
they're
Did you see Fifth Element? Did
I've
you
never
No,
see
she's
that?
done
Multipass.
Fifth Element.
Have you seen-
Multipass.
Of course.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
he's like, of course I have.
Multipass.
Of course.
Multipass.
But my favorite out of that list, I mean, I love the original Star Wars, obviously, but it's like obvious.
Yes.
I don't care
Well,
too much
what else
to talk about. It
did you
was
like?
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy
Galaxy
Quest.
Quest.
Honestly,
Galaxy
like
Quest was. It's such a fun movie.
I know you like. We should do
We should do
an
that
episode on that.
We could
but I
actually
feel like
do part two
Oh.
of the interview will be us
Sure.
talking about
yeah,
Galaxy.
we'll
I
do part
love
two
Galaxy Quest.
because
And you'll once you watch it, you'll
no, I know.
understand.
I've seen bits, but I need
Okay.
to go all the way through. But you've talked up this so much, and
Yeah.
we've talked about doing it, and then knowing that like Garrett's obsessed with it, we need to do this.
Yeah.
Like we
Sure.
need to have a Galaxy Quest whenever it happens,
Mm-hmm.
a part two.
Sure.
But you have to watch it first, though. You have.
Well,
to
yeah,
see
I'm
it.
gonna watch
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
But then
She's-
you've got to
you've
make
seen
him
it, right,
watch
Des?
Princess Bride, though, right?
Oh, well,
You gotta-
I already told him to. Is that what is that, an airplane?
There's an airplane.
Okay.
We're doing nature sounds this show, you guys. We're going with the full
It's
like
ASMR.
natural.
Yeah.
It's a ASMR. No, John got I said why didn't you see Princess Bride? And he said because it was called The Princess Bride.
Seriously.
And then I made a short about
That's it. I had
and
no idea that it was a spoof.
And it blew up. Everyone was like,
Yeah.
well, and I didn't think it was going to be like, I thought it was funny because I
had
initially
no
didn't.
idea it
No,
was a
but
spoof.
you
The
weren't
The fact
alone.
that you and Chauncey have never seen it is even more
That's
crazy.
weird that
I
both
want
of you.
to
She
almost
doesn't
ask
really-
if Ethan has ever seen it. Has Ethan seen
No.
Princess Bride? Okay.
Are
no.
you sure?
Yeah.
Ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not seen
Or
it.
ask them both. Maybe Liam has seen it. That's
Liam's-
crazy.
Liam's not-
Liam's the only one that's
It's
seen it.
on-
Yeah.
I
It's
just
on
watched that
Disney
movie
Plus.
with my kids
Yeah.
recently.
It's on Disney Plus. Are you sure they
But
didn't see
doesn't
it
that
yet?
doesn't that
Yeah,
shock
possibly.
you to hear that
Yes.
neither
But
Chauncey
in-
or John has seen
in
Princess?
Yeah.
in
Yes.
John's defense, I also thought the same thing. Like I heard the title and was like, "That's probably not for me."
Oh.
Yeah.
So then didn't, and then somebody came to me and said,
You gotta watch
"It's
it.
yeah, exactly."
Yeah.
And then I was like,
It
"Okay, yeah."
sounds like a freaking
It doesn't
lovey-dovey
yeah.
tale
No, I
of
get
a
it.
freaking
You're like, no one
princess
wants to
Yeah.
watch
bride.
that, but then you watch it and you're like, "Oh, that's what I was trying." Like, it's not
Yeah.
No.
about. It is about a princess.
So what if I
bride,
watch
but
it?
You know what it
it's-
is?
What if I
it's-
watch it
it's
and I
comedy.
hate it?
You know what
You
that is?
probably
though?
will now.
That is absolutely inconceivable.
What?
Yes,
if I
you're
watch
right.
it and I hate it?
She's doing a line from the movie.
Oh, haha.
Yeah.
It-
I haven't
he-
seen it. That is inconceivable.
So the actor that does that line, Wallace Shawn,
I love him.
Yeah, here's the thing though. I've moderated him at conventions for Q&As, and his manager always says to any of the moderators, he will not take any questions from the moderator regarding the Princess Bride. Absolutely nothing.
Is it because that comes up the whole time, or is there?
Because he does not like the film himself.
Oh, he does.
Really?
No. So he says,
It's so
you
iconic.
as a moderator, you're not allowed to ask him about Princess Bride. If a fan asks him, then so be it. And sure enough, during the thing,
They do.
This one kid goes like, "What was your favorite thing about filming the Princess Bride?" And Wallace Shawn said, "Probably the car ride to the set and back to the hotel." is what he said.
Oh
yeah,
my
he was like the time
gosh.
that he was not on set, basically. So
Huh.
he.
This is solidifying my thought process behind this film right now.
Well,
wanna get-
but that's one actor.
Now we
Yeah,
need to
that's
get him on the
one.
show so we can
Yeah,
find
that's
out the
not-
dirty deeds
you can't-
behind that.
Exactly, but you can't go off of one actor because that's like saying Crispin Glover on Back to the Future. Like he probably doesn't like Back to the Future because of what happened. But
Yeah.
we all, you know what I mean? Like you can't just say like one entity.
Yeah.
You would like
Sure.
it. You and Chauncey would both like it. You won't.
They've
You
never seen Back to the Future?
No,
What?
no, no, no.
Oh.
Fucking Back to
Princess
the
Bride.
Oh,
I see
I'm
Back to
like-
the Future. We've actually ran into Crispin Glover before, so I know. Yeah.
Lorraine,
Yeah, you are my
density.
Density.
oh my God.
Destiny.
Lorraine.
But I think we definitely need to have
Calvin.
a part 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Because this
Yeah.
was
Well, that's true.
fantastic,
Yeah.
and I know
This
we
was
won't.
a lot of fun.
I know,
was.
like
Yeah.
this was like the most fun
Is
I've
the-
had in a long
was
time.
it funner than your other 2 guests? Wait, how many?
We
what-
won't-
I'm
you
guest
are
number. I'm guest
second.
number 2.
Your guess number 2.
I got the silver medal.
Well, you're my first guest.
This
You're
is
Des-
true.
Oh,
I wasn't
I'm
here
d-
for the first guest, so you are my first
Oh.
guest.
Yeah.
All of our guests are fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You'd like Carrie too.
Yeah, I feel like we should fill the whole table at this point. Like, let's
We really
just
should.
bring them everyone in.
Anyway, so
We'll do it when it's cold outside.
thank you for joining us, Garrett.
You're
Really
welcome.
appreciate
It
it.
was
Thanks for
super-
flying all the way out here and
Yes.
just
Specifically
just
for
to be on the
this.
Just
I
kidding.
know.
Just
That was it. I flew out here. I was like, I got to be on this podcast.
Yes, just say it
Then I
because
leave.
to the world, that's all that matters.
That's
Is
all that
that
matters.
He flew out just for our podcast.
Just
That's right.
randomly.
That's-
went.
But
That's
tell
right.
us, plug your stuff for.
Oh yeah,
before you
sure.
go.
Yes, yes. So my podcast, which is called The Delta Flyers.
We'll have links in the description.
Yes, so you can, there's a free version on every place that you can find podcasts. So whether it's Spotify, iTunes, or any other platform, it's there. We also have a bonus material version on Patreon. That would be patreon.com/The Delta Flyers for awesome bonus material. We've already finished the review of all the Voyager episodes. We've now transitioned to Deep Space Nine, which is the show that has the name of the character that your daughter is named after, Esri. So we're doing Deep Space Nine with 2 actors from Deep Space Nine. We have Terry Farrell, who played the first Dax.
Right.
So that's Jadzia Dax. And then we have Armin Shimmerman, who played Quark. So
Oh, okay.
those are our co-hosts. We alternate with them each week. And so that's where we're at right now. So you can check out that podcast. That'd be wonderful.
Oh my
Very
gosh,
cool.
We're definitely going to tune in. And I know Des is because she's obsessed with your voice.
I
and
am.
Now she's just
This
going to
is
have you
my-
in her headphones all day.
Forever. Forever.
I'm going to be like, what are you doing? She's like, listening to Garrett again. That's going to be her
There-
new...
Just hanging out with Garrett. That's
But thanks for having me on the podcast. It was great to
Absolutely.
meet you, Brittany.
It was great to have
finally.
you. I know.
Yeah. And Des as well. Thank you for being here.
It was great having you.
Thank you so much.
And everybody, don't forget to do all the things down below. The likes, the subscribes, and follow along. And please share this with friends and family. We need your guys' help in order to grow this podcast as well as our YouTube channel. And also, don't forget to,
Backhand that notification bell.
just like Dad used to do. And until the next one, see ya.
Bye. No one
I
else?
don't think you give yourself enough fucking credit of how much you know about sci-fi.
I spilled coffee all over my stickers and I need more. Dude, okay.
That was a
Brittany.
segue.
Just